Is up, party people? All right, hopefully my mic's working fine now. Let me know in the chat if it is. If not, damn. Before I get started, let me go ahead and get into the chat. I don't think I did that yesterday. I was kind of sitting. What's up, T4? How you doing, sir? What's up, Dominic? What's up, Phil? What's up, Howard? How you doing? What's up, Matrix? Let's see here. Oh, let's see us. What's up, Renee? Gonna get you a wrench. Sorry about that. I think Slick's supposed to be here sometime. Make sure I get him a wrench. What's up, then? What's up, Sam? What's up, Skyfly? How you doing, sir? What's up, Soul? And what's up, Jax? And I think we can go from there. God damn it. Alright, there's only one other thing I can do for the mic. Let me see if it'll work. Hang on. Alright. Actually, while you guys wait, I know I'm roboting. I'm going to play a video. Hang on, let's go set that up if you guys can hear me. I want you guys to see this, and while I get this going, you'll be able to get my mic fixed. Hang on. All right, let me know if it's any better now. And hopefully we'll be good to go. All right, I can actually see the chat. All right, let me know if it's any better, guys. Hopefully that will actually should fix the problem. All right, perfect. All right, so apologize about that, guys. Let's go ahead and get the link out there. If you guys haven't already guessed it, basically the topic today will be it's obviously going to be open. It's a think tank, but more importantly, Maxwell, no subscription necessary. Seems to think he has some revolutionary aspect on climate change, and I'd love to figure out what the hell that is. Just got an email. Hang on 1 second. And then, all right, there we go. All right, so let me see. Get this link to you guys. And get this going. Did he really digital? All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I like the name them. Like the new name. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. So, there he is. What's up, Maxwell? I'd love to hear what you got. So revolutionary. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. I don't know if I can hear him. Hang on, Maxwell. I don't have my settings correct again. Keep forgetting I was doing something earlier. There he is. What's up, Maxwell? I can hear you guys now.
You're going to have to bear with me on this one, Sean. This is a doozy.
Okay. Before you start, before you start, because remember yesterday you had brought up ocean fertilization. So I kind of wanted to...
I seen that. That's a great video.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I just kind of give it a little rough to everyone so doesn't know about ocean fertilization. Basically, ocean fertilization is the act of dumping iron particulates into the ocean with the guides to stimulate the phytoplankton or the algae blooms. It's illegal to do upon multiple treaties. The catch of it all is anyone who's ever gone on a gambling cruise, so to speak, you know that there's a line off every single coast, which is called international waters. International waters is pretty much the wild, wild west of the ocean. As long as a country goes outside that barrier or outside that 200 miles, it's kind of up to the UN and whoever country it's off of or they're coming from's responsibility to police it. But imagine the size of the ocean and how impossible that would be. The video you guys just watched was the guy, Russ George. He's a guy who actually pulled off ocean fertilization illegally. He knew he was doing it illegally. What he did was he dumped 100 tons of iron sulfides into the Pacific Ocean off of Canada. The worst part about this man is he literally is a scam artist. Like he almost knows he is. I mean, he knows he's known for it to the point where he doesn't speak candidly about it. You guys saw a small clip. That man actually gave the Vatican fake carbon credits / fake forest in over there, and there was no forest of existence. This is what the guy does. He's a scammer. He makes money and uses the climate change argument and the geoengineering argument as a stepping stool for his pocket. The experiment that I'm talking about, the one he did off of Canada, he's done this probably about 4 times since then. This was in the looking on the date right now. I think it was the early mid 80s or 90s. I mean, and basically he scammed a small village in Alaska out of a lot of money. And the guy said he was going to bring back the salmon run. What he didn't anticipate was basically, I've been talking about it. One of the biggest issues I have, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys so you guys can see it. And I'll share it with everyone in the chat in a second. I just got to get it all pulled up. This is just one of the stories about it. I kind of showed the chat earlier. Go ahead and share it again. So there you go. Again, like I said, the biggest issue with this article, this man, is the fact that with satellite readings, this was before he had ocean fertilized this area, this bay. As you guys can see, it kind of just shows like the organic life, which is in the red, orange as it comes out, the density of it. So in the next one, my bad. Actually, I was going on the wrong one. So this is what it would be normally. After he iron fertilized the area, you can see that the increase in orange and everything. That was the organic life that's now in the water. It was supposed to have increased it by 80%. The numbers are a little back and forth depending on what article you're reading. But overall, what he did was dumped 100 tons of iron phosphate in a 10,000 square kilometer area, basically this bay, and basically wreaked havoc on it. The long story short is it brought back the salmon for one season. The next following season, they went down 65% in I guess the population of salmon that actually make the run. Ultimately, starving a village, and they all had to move and all that good stuff. I can do a report on that later on, but it's so much deeper than that because they went to court and all that stuff. But yeah, this guy he got off pretty much scot free, and he's a piece of shit. Thank you, Maxwell, for allowing me to get all that out. Now, I would love to hear your crushing information.
Yeah, so I just want to say F you for sending me down this rabbit hole, but thank you because I have literally spent the last 18 hours looking through this shit and probably got about 2 hours worth of sleep. So
awesome. That makes me very happy.
So okay, what started me was when I started the search, I found this guy called Fred Singer. I don't know if you've ever heard who he is.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then, of course, I had to watch a couple of his lectures on YouTube, and that just sent me down a deeper hole. And long story short, long story short, you can't deny that global warming or climate change it's real, right? It is very real, but it's being used, in my opinion, as a money tool. It's a revenue generator. That's it.
Yeah. That's so remember my stance on it is I'm on both sides. And the reason is probably where you're at now, where you can't say it doesn't have a something to do with it, but the whole money grab aspect of it has taken over all.
Oh yeah, for sure. And here's the philosophy behind this. This is the double-headed coin or fixed game philosophy that they're using for climate change. Is heads I win, tails you lose. Either way the climate goes, they're still going to be winning. It doesn't matter if it gets warmer or if it gets colder. They're going to be still winning the argument whether it's changing or not.
Yeah,
right?
Because they'll just move the goalpost.
Okay, but so now what they're doing is they're cherry picking. Like right now, the mainstream climate change activists are cherry picking stuff out of data and making it look actually worse than what it really is.
Yep.
Which some of it's not good, and it is a lot more.
It's not catastrophic like they're making it.
Right, but it is a significant increase. Like CO2, for instance, is a drastic increase. Okay, this is where my freaking rabbit hole gets deep, dude. Okay, so in my opinion, or my conspiracy theory, or whatever you want to call it,
Unfortunately, Max, it's no longer conspiracy anymore.
No, but this is a whole new conspiracy. Geoengineering has been going on since the 1980s, and without people actually understanding how they're doing it. And how they're doing it is how they're doing it. Okay, well, earlier, but for me to determine the date, I'd have to find out. I'm going to do more research for sure, but so for instance, if you take and look up the ice core data from the Epica Dome Sea Antarctica ice core and deuterium, the proxy data for that. It goes back 800,000 years. Okay. And it shows a graph of CO2 parts per million in the atmosphere
Yep.
by ice core sampling. Okay. And this graph goes, it's like a heartbeat of the planet. Okay. It goes up and down, all the way. And so you can't deny that global warming is not happening, because it is. We're at the peak of a trend of an increasing trend. We're at the peak of it. What does that mean? So my conspiracy is that they see this trend and it goes up and down, right? Well, we don't want to become cooler and dive into this ice age where the planet, basically becomes colder than what people want. So they've been pumping this CO2 into the atmosphere on purpose. I mean, they have been purposely suppressing this because they want to get this parts per million up way above.
I don't think they're purposely pumping CO2 in. I think they purposely know amount of CO2 they're producing, and which is why the fossil fuel industry hasn't decreased at all. It's actually increased.
That's exactly my point. They're making money. While they're not spending money to geoengineer, they're making money to geoengineer gasoline. Yeah, so we're at the peak of this positive trend in the CO2 emissions, which coincides with the temperature of the Earth, right?
Yep.
But if you look at the chart, the temperature of the Earth has kind of planed off. It hasn't climbed up.
Here's the thing with that one thing I have an issue with, and this is why I kind of stand on both on the fence of climate change, because even if we see a rise in temperature, and this is how I've always felt with dinosaur bones and sediment layers, the whole nine. There's a big range in that. When they say the planet is 4.5 billion years old, that means it's 3 billion to 6 billion. Like, there is no set number that they're finding. It's a time. It's a range. Now, when they say over the past 800,000 years, at about 200 years ago, that data starts becoming, well, the trend was, and we see this, so we have to assume that 800,000 years ago, the parts per million were around this. And that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. That's good, because that's what gives us our trends. That's what gives us an idea of whether or not even our predictions of what could happen are even at all near close. But to say we need to do this, this, and this, or else this will happen. You said it a little while ago, Max, and this is where I've been at. I feel they've been doing it since the early 60s, 70s. Now, they've been doing it even sooner than that, but I don't think it was a regular thing before the 70s. This topic that we're talking about, mainly the carbon capture aspect of these, because basically that's what we're talking about. It's backed by too many people that are involved in the capture of it, that are involved in what we should do as a solution. And it doesn't work that way. You can't figure out solution when the money's in your eyes. You heard that guy, Ross George, that if it's about a solution, there should be thousands of them, which there are. But why aren't we talking about the solutions that have little to no risk versus all these fucking solutions with huge risk? Ocean fertilization, the reason it has a huge risk is you throw off the ecosystem when you make these phytoplankton bloom the way they do. Why? Because it's not just food for more whales. It literally takes nutrition that supplies life to oceans. It takes that out of the ocean because the phytoplankton eats that. Then the organisms that eat all the phytoplankton, there's no nutrients in the water. This is what happens. It's called a dead sea. We have many spots like this. One of the big things about it that really irks the shit out of me is the fact that if you go and look and like Max did, which I am very much respect to that, because it's actually not an easy topic to get into. There's so many rabbit holes that go in different directions. It's really hard to see the big picture. And the big picture of this whole ocean fertilization thing is money. There is no They haven't even figured out a plus side to this. There's no
Yeah,
plus
it's all
side to
about
ocean
the money.
fertilization.
There's not a losing side on the climate
Mhm.
change faction. There, if you're for it, there you can't lose. Regardless, you cannot lose.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The only way and that's the big thing to whether or not this is a scam situation going on or we're really in a climate crisis. Here's the thing. Ready? It's either it's either the fact that we need to do something because there's a situation happening. Okay, give us a real timeline. 13 years, which is what the IPCC gave us to do this. Otherwise, we would start temperature rising. If they're worried about temperature rising, why are the three main solutions that they're coming with situations where they're blanketing, covering? Like those are their whole. That's like their whole scheme. Nothing
Yeah,
about
can you
ocean
hear me?
fertilization works. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So yeah, the IPCC is confirmation bias, and that Fred Singer has pointed that out in
Oh yeah,
one of his videos. So
but
they changed the data to coincide with
mm,
the summary of the goddamn what was supposed to be
well,
represented.
well,
So how do they do?
well.
How
No,
does
wait, wait.
who gives
The
them who
data's
gives
not
them
the
that right?
data's not cherry picked in a sense of recording it. The IPCC cherry picked what they reported. And I think
No,
they've been doing this. I mean,
he
like I
came right
said,
out.
like I said, they've been doing this stuff. I think they've been geoengineering since the 70s. And what
Oh
we're
yeah,
at right now is
but just not
literally
in the way of everybody
the
thinks.
fix a fuck up. You're
Not
100%
in the
right.
way
You're
not in
right.
the way everybody thinks. So the fix the fuck up is the money generating tool. Selling cars that don't get as good as I mean, pumping
That's
out
still a
more
little.
vehicles and cars and
Yes.
burning
Okay.
more
Yeah. There you
fossil
go.
fuels. They're making money while they're doing this, and the true geoengineering is pumping more CO2 into the atmosphere to prolong the effects of the inevitable ice age or global
Mhm.
cooling, as you want to call
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yes.
Global
Yes.
cooling is a fact. It's going to happen.
Wait.
It's
Wait.
the
Wait. Wait.
matter
Wait.
of
Wait. 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 You got to remember, they're the ice age. Those things are triggered. Those aren't. I don't
no.
believe the
I'm
climate
not
changes
talking about
into
an
them.
ice age. I'm not talking about an ice age. I'm talking about global cooling. You can see in the trend with the ice core data from the Epicodome Sea Antarctica graphs. It's on NOAA's website. It's on everybody's climate change website. It's right there, but they don't talk about this graph. Is all they do is they pull up the last 50 years and they say, "Oh, look, we're on an upward trend." Well, of course, we've been on an upward trend for the past 1,000 years.
Yeah, I agree.
So for them to cherry pick out 50 years and say we got to do something now because we're on an upward trend. Well, we've been on an upward trend for the past 1,000 years at least.
Oh yeah, big
So
time, easy. And again, like I said, it's a money generating situation. More importantly than the solutions causing generating money. Again, I said this before, and it's very clear. 70% of the companies that have invested in carbon capture in these solutions are the fossil fuel companies, and at no point in their history and in the future will a company ever put themselves out of business. In this whole climate change situation and all these solutions are all telling us, the people, it's steering in the way of renewables, no more fossil fuels. The problem is, fossil fuels are ramping up investments, production, all these, most of these solutions just benefit them.
yeah, and like I was saying,
How do you lower emissions by capturing carbon dioxide, then using it to produce 1,000% more oil? Come on, like really, like
well, I
that.
mean,
That's like a real
if you
slap in the
think about
face.
it, it's yeah. If you think about it, it's. I mean, you're not you're using carbon to capture more carbon, but the carbon you're putting into the ground should equate to like I'm just a fictitious number, of burning, only 2/3 instead of a full, a full amount. You know what I mean? They think that they're putting some back in the ground to get more out, so it's not as bad as just not putting any in the ground and taking it out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and that's the other thing. So we kind of all know, most of us know how gases that are in the planet work, as in seeping to the surface or us finding these pockets. When they inject CO2 into the ground for the idea of storing it there, they're literally. I have a clip. They're talking about we store 1,000,000 tons and it will stay there for a millennium, and I'm like, CO2 and all these other gases find their way to the surface all the time. Well, you know what I mean? So to me, they compared it to how gases and oil are underground and they stay there. It's like, wait, no, they don't. Not only no, they don't, but you don't have enough research into how those gases that do stay underground to be telling us that it's safe. You know what I mean? So there's like I said, if the risk outweigh the reward, there's an issue. There's a red fucking flag. Oh yeah, it's reading chat. Yeah, hey, Jason, check out Jose's. I know you don't like him, but check it out because he had a concave around today. Off subject. Yeah, but Maxwell, what you're saying, 100%. I mean, we're in complete agreement to get with that situation, 100%. Maxwell. Oh damn! Everyone just just left my panel. That was weird. Waiting for Maxwell to respond. He didn't respond. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Did they just kick you guys
But
out?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I got to update the app. But what I was saying is that they were the global. They've been just letting it go. I mean, it's apparent we're on an upward trend, but over the timeline, the parts per million have never exceeded 300 parts per million. They've come to about almost 300 parts per million. That was like 300,000 years ago, 280 some thousand years ago.
Oh no,
But
no, 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 Maxwell.
it's
Oh no,
never
it has. It's been in the 500s before.
not according to
Obviously.
this graph.
Well, I don't know.
So
How
not
far back
according
does
to
that
this
graph go?
graph,
How far back does it go?
800,000 years. The furthest they've dug down in the Antarctic.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
that's what. Okay,
so
so here's another problem.
so there's two different
So,
ones.
but
I
you know
mean,
how we know? I was just saying how they want to store it in the ground, and they believe that they say that they can keep it there for a millennium. Um, that's one of the big red flags too. In the Arctic, what's happening is because when we do get those melt offs, if it does go back far enough, what's happening is that sequestered carbon dioxide that's in the ground in Antarctica, it's permeating its way out. And again, this is another red flag that we know that at some point CO2 can find its way back to the surface. Again, nothing they're finding is in the millions of tons like we want to store in the ground. So how we quote unquote know how to store it is beyond me.
I don't know. I mean, but it's never, according to this graph, it's never exceeded 300 parts per million, and we've exceeded that, by 100 and 110 or 115 now. I mean, and it's increased exponentially over the past 10 years.
Well, that's
So
also the
it's a
other thing.
great
They've
it's a great gimmick. It's a great panic mode,
oh
fear
yeah,
mongering tool.
it is. That's what I
So
was trying to tell you yesterday. You remember that yesterday you were not you didn't you it seemed like you were fencing your argument, but now you're saying things that are making more sense to your argument. Um,
no, it's just, so my point was is that it still really hasn't changed. I mean, I- they're just, if anything, they're just delaying the inevitable. You know, I
I don't
mean,
even think they're doing that.
it's
Like I said,
well, yeah, they
if you
don't know.
look,
They
if
don't
you look
know.
at those graphs, you'll notice something. Since the 50s, you will see a trend. You'll see it start rising. It looks the same, but if you really start looking into it, what you'll notice is that within the past 40, 50 years, there are jumps, little mini spikes. To me, those little mini spikes are them doing their geoengineering projects and capturing carbon, because they've been capturing carbon since the 70s openly. That's how they've always gotten petroleum. They've been doing that since the 70s openly. And now that's the other red flag. Why are they acting like this is some new revolutionary shit that they figured out and they want to do it to capture carbon? They've been doing it for a while. The difference is they haven't stored it. They haven't even tried to be storing it. They've always used it for EOR. That's oil extraction. It's
No, because they've been fear mongering the masses with this
they actually been hiding
whether
it.
it's on purpose.
They've been
Well, yeah, I
hiding
know
it because you
whether
got to
it's on,
remember.
yeah,
There's a
exactly.
website to check out
Whether
this
it's on
website, Max.
purpose or not.
Check out this website. It's called oilandprices.com. It's a website that basically outs all the legislations that are involved in fossil fuels, like invested and all that stuff. And then what it also does is it shows right away that with the data that those little spikes are driven by money. Because it shows it. It does an overlay.
If that's true, Sean, if that's true, that just supports my claim that
Your claim that you've made today is right, 100%. I'm in 100% agreement. I think it's just a little bit more of the research you've gotten so far. Like, trust me, you're not done. That rabbit hole you think you're climbing out of.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
No, you think you are. You think you are. But
I looked into hurricane frequency and intensity. I mean, that's a dead end road. I mean, because
there's not enough data to support either side.
Really. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you look at it, what happens is you do see spikes 50, 60 years ago. The issue I have is that the intensity and how these storms are playing out are different. I think 90% of it is the technology. Like you were saying yesterday, the technology that we're getting is improving, so we're able to get better data. The issue with the better data that we're getting now is that the better data is showing us intensity. Whether they were more intense 100, 200,000 million years ago, I don't even give a shit. If they're intensifying now, we have a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Davros seems to think that you can justify everything within 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or 50 years of
I don't think you can
data.
justify. I don't think you can justify climate change argument, but you can definitely justify the intensity argument. If it's, like I said, if it's intensifying over the past 5 years, we got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you got to do is go back and look at the actual data that goes back 800,000 years with ice core samples. I mean,
imagine this. Imagine a world, Max, where the fossil fuel companies told us this was going to happen. That would be insane. Problem is, Max, is the fossil fuel companies did tell us. Exxon, Shell, BP, they all did studies in the early 70s, 80s, telling us, hey, 20 years.
Yeah, but it turned into
an emission issue.
It turned into a fear mongering deal, and how do you know if it's an emission issue?
I mean, that was the thing. That was the thing, Max. They suppressed those reports. Yeah. All the reports we were getting from like the IPCC and all these agencies and everything, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that Paris Agreement's bullshit. Did you hear about that?
Paris Agreement, the London Protocol, the Kyoto Protocol, they've all been adjusted to allow certain things benefiting those countries. Yeah,
but there's no like regulatory action or anything. It's just a piece of paper that you hand these people, and they say, okay, well this is what you're going to do. Good. We hope you do it, but you're not held to any standard to doing it.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
And here they got this stack of papers that says, okay, great, we got an agreement. Well, what the fuck good is an agreement if you're not going to abide by it?
Max, remember I was telling you about that 200 miles? if they go outside that 200 miles, then they're outside of the country's waters. Like that's a loophole. They all know it. It's very clear. Actually, let me go through these real quick because I have some images. See, I'm gonna share it with you so you can see it too. Gotta share this window.
Yeah, so this upward trend, this increasing trend that we've been experiencing in CO2 increase of parts per million was started about 25,000 years ago. So, and what gets me is that these climate change activists and whatnot play this out like it's going to happen within the next 5 years or 10 years or 50
Yeah,
years or 100 years, when that's not
the
even close to
fear-mongering.
true. It's going to take at least 25,000 years for anything to happen, and humanity might not even be around by then. You know, I mean, it's just
I will
ridiculous.
say this, Max. You're arguing. I don't know why your argument always leads to fucking population dying.
Well, because it's a miracle that humanity, it's an absolute miracle that humanity has lasted as long as it has.
Why?
Since the creation of nuclear fusion.
I'm gonna tell you right now, whether it's nuclear, whether it's natural, it doesn't matter. We are humans. We will adapt no matter what.
Yeah, but you know, when you're a kid, you like to go out in the woods with a match and start a damn fire, and now you got science and they can freaking blow shit up. I mean, crap. You know, I mean, it's
but like one kid is not. You can't compare that to the military. The military themselves. And here's the other thing.
If you go back and look at,
that's a whole other topic of a red flag, the nuclear complex. So everyone knows there are a dozen, like Max is saying, quote unquote, treaties that say, hey, not only are we not allowed to build nuclear weapons for the future, but your stockpiles, you got to start diminishing them until they're down to nothing. Not sure if anyone knows this or not, but we've always had a treaty with Russia saying you start getting rid of yours, we'll start getting rid of ours, we won't make any new ones, and we'll stop aiming them at you. Not sure if anyone knew it, but Trump, he backed out of that treaty last year. It was a big story. Fucking Putin was like, okay, well, if you're backing out of this treaty, just know that we're not taking that lightly. And if we feel any threat, we will fucking start firing. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not telling you guys a conspiracy story. This is 100% real. We no longer have a treaty with Russia for peace. It's not there anymore. Not saying that we're going to war with Russia, but those are the type of things that fucking Trump has done since he's been here. And that's as real as it fucking gets.
What's scary? Here's what's scary about Trump. I mean, you've always heard it's too good to be true. You've always heard a sheep and wolf, or a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, I mean, he is doing a lot of good. Is it too good to be true? Who knows? He could be a damn sheep in wolf's clothing.
That's the other thing.
Nobody knows.
You got to look at what aspect he is improving, and what it is it's all economic. And we've already come to the conclusion that our industrial and trades and the way things work in our system you can't be more about money and have the people in interest. It literally is a scale. And I get it. I'm not trying to say the government and investors and all these things shouldn't be making their money or trying to make their money. The problem is that what cost? Because like you were saying, Max, what can we, like you were saying the other day, like, what can one person do? That's where that one scenario is correct. It's kind of hard for any one person to start to affect and make better improvements of things when you have another side that is pushing that solution so far away that it does become impossible. Luckily, like I said, we are human. We're going to adapt regardless. Before I get too off the subject, I wanted to go over. I was looking at a website that has a bunch of publications about ocean fertilization. This website is very is probably as non-biased as I've seen, because they have two sections, plus and minus of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the side that's gonna be telling the realization, the stuff that they're not telling the public right away, and then everything else is kind of just, you know, for you guys to research. But I wanted to show this mainly because what Max was talking about, it being financial, and I feel the same way. It being a situation of these treaties that almost mean nothing. These treaties, and so everyone understands, these treaties should be policed better than our own state laws. That's why these fucking treaties are even made. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up so you guys can see it. There you go. The first one is the law. So it says, since iron fertilization will likely happen outside of any single country's 200-mile exclusive economic zone, regulations will fall under international law. So that's kind of what we were just talking about. It says, among international treaties that concern the sea, the 1972 London Conservation promotes the effective control of all sources of marine pollution and governs the deliberate disposal at sea of water, waste, and other matter for its 82 parties. A separate agreement, the 1996 London Protocol, monitorizes and updates the London Convention and eventually will replace it. Under the protocol, all dumping is prohibited exempt for few specific wastes. A 2006 amendment, for example, specifies, specifically permits, but regulates disposal of carbon dioxide from industrial carbon capture processes into a subseeded geological formations. So again, this shows 3 different times it was rewritten, basically. And again, in the 2006 amendment, it literally, of all the things that changed on it, the only thing that changed was saying carbon dioxide is allowed to be dumped into the ocean. When they said that, that's because they want to sequester carbon dioxide in the ocean. And that's part of the ocean fertilization process, where basically these phytoplanktons, what they do is they absorb the CO2 out of the air. It is a very big cycle that we need, and happens all the time regardless. But what they're doing is they're ramping it. What ends up happening is this phytoplankton dies. In a natural system, what happens is they die, they fall to the bottom of the ocean, to the deeper areas of the ocean. Some of them are eaten, and obviously shit it out, and then that CO2 and all those other stuff that goes back to the surface and back into the air. It's a cycle. What they're doing now is they want to ramp it up so much that the phytoplankton absorbs more CO2 and then sequesters to the bottom of the ocean. There are quite a few issues with this. I can go deeper into it, but as I read in, you'll see that there are other issues that come along with it. But like I said, I'm going to break it up. I don't want to bore you guys with my fucking terrible reading. Yeah, but
that's a good point. It's a good point. I mean, you know, if they could ramp up these plankton, you know, but then again, how do you know? I mean,
that's not a good thing, Max.
They don't. Well, they don't know. I mean,
no.
They don't know either way.
Okay, so in the argument of what they know, you're right. Very little is known, but there are things we do know. For instance, ramping the phytoplankton bloom up takes away nutrients from other animals that are in the oceans, other ocean life, marine life. We know that we've seen in nature these blooms happen. They typically happen when resources are low, you know, food for the phytoplankton, or temperatures drop in the water. Like, there's certain natural situations where we see these blooms happen. Here's the problem: when these blooms happen, something happens where, you know, through nature, the phytoplankton knows there's an overpopulation of phytoplankton, and there's not going to be enough nutrients to support them all. So they go into what's called a red sea, or red tide. The red tide is basically phytoplankton's population control. What also happens when this happens is the water becomes more acidic, which kills off other nutrients and other marine life. And this is where we start seeing dead seas. So we do know that sometimes when these phytoplankton do these mass blooms in nature, there are downsides to it. Now, you think about what would happen if we
Well, I
start.
mean, so there, I mean, there should be some correlation there to too much CO2 in the atmosphere and red tides. I mean,
Why? No,
I'm
because
gonna, I don't know.
because
I'm
what
gonna
happened?
look into it. That's another question I
Oh
would
yeah,
have for
yeah.
myself.
Look into it. But here's the thing. Again,
You gotta quit freaking giving me freaking planting seeds in my head,
I
dude.
told you. I told you this. I told you, man. You're not done at all. Because you want to start really talking about stuff. Look up David Keith. David Keith is the guy that Harvard. I've talked about him a dozen times. The guy who's basically running the solar radiation management thing over at Harvard for geoengineering. That's the one where they want to spray the aerosol sulfates all over the world, over the skies, blanketing the whole world. Now, think about this, Max. If you make a way so that there's no way the CO2 can dissolve or combine with whatever happens, basically the cycle. If you block that cycle from happening, you trap the CO2 and other emissions that are being produced during that time. Well, David Keith, he owns the largest carbon air capture facility in Canada, and he's selling all his machines to United States districts for millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, they do also know one thing that not enough CO2 in the atmosphere is extremely detrimental to the life on planet Earth, and too much, is they've got an estimate of what is too much, but I mean we're still in that golden zone, even though we're exponentially higher than what's normal. They're still saying that we can probably go up to about 800 before you know we'll have to worry about anything.
Well,
So,
well, you got to remember this.
but who knows?
So
Nobody knows. I mean, they
400.
just
When they say 400 parts, it's not so much saying, "Oh shit, we're at 400 parts. Everyone's going to start dying." No, it just means things are going to change.
no, but that's the way they're playing it off. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely, we are.
that's what's got everybody living on the edge.
Oh yeah, definitely. No. Let's get one thing straight. They are so fear mongering. It's ridiculous, big time. You don't say we have 13 years to do some shit if unless that's what you're doing. Especially because, like I said, if they made that report out, so it'd be such a big deal, the climate change and temperature rise and all that, then why is, again, fossil fuels going up? Why is it ramping? Why are the solutions helping them ramp up production? That doesn't make sense.
That's the same way with it's the same way with the previous president and their administration and gun laws. They would come out with this new gun law that they're going to pass, and everybody would rush to the store to buy a gun before they put a ban on it, or buy this before they ban that. It
Bullets
would
and all that,
increase
yeah.
gun sales crazy. I mean, people that didn't even want guns were buying guns. And then the sales would ramp down, and they'd come out with some new ban that they're going to try and propose, and people would go back out and buy shit they didn't need again. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
it's
and
an
you see
endless.
it all the time, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
And like I said, there's so many, like you're seeing now. There's so many aspects of this climate change conversation that I'm telling you now, we couldn't even discuss all of them, all the topics of it. We couldn't discuss all the solutions and all the ups and downs. It's just too much. Um, you said something yesterday that really struck me. You said, "What can we do? There's nothing we can do now." The thing is you're right. There is nothing we can do now. Barney came on a while ago, and when I first started talking about this, when he was on, and he opened my eyes to this, and I thank him very much for it. He said, "We should have done this 30 years ago. For now, the realization of it,
Well,
Max, is that
should we? Should we
here's
have?
a yeah. If we were
That's the question.
if we were talking about a real fix, if we're talking now, then it should have been done 30 years ago." And that's the thing. You can't look at life as you. You have to look at life as what's coming next. I don't know if you have any kids, but I have a son. So my view on this conversation isn't for me. Fuck me. We're fucked. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
Anything
that's
that's
the
going to
thing.
happen,
It's
we're
not.
we're
Yeah,
going to be the generation that feels it. The next
yeah, I agree
generation
with you.
will.
I have kids too, but I mean, it's not our kids that are going to feel the effects, and it's not our
Oh, it
kids' kids
is.
that are
Oh,
going
it
to feel
will.
the
It is.
effects. Well,
Well, you got to
see,
remember,
that's the fear mongering. That's the fear
no,
mongering
Max.
part.
It's got
You
to get to
remember.
a certain point, though. Things do change. We have seen things change. Like I said, even if it's over the past 5 years, it makes a fucking difference.
See, that's where I would disagree. It doesn't, because we've been in an upward trend for
Okay,
25,000
Max.
years.
If tomorrow,
25,000 years.
yeah, but here's the thing: if tomorrow we get the biggest hurricane the world has ever seen, what
That's nature.
do we do nothing
And,
about it though?
unless you see,
Hang on. Do we do nothing about it, or do we build buildings better? Do we build levees
well, of
better?
course.
Okay, so then don't say that now we can't do nothing. Because Katrina, those levees, hopefully,
Well,
listen, hopefully those levees are built, the repaired levee area are built better than the levees were before. That's an improvement for later.
well, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, humans are stupid, right? I mean, we're all stupid. We build houses next to rivers that flood all the time. We build fucking houses on the ocean where the freaking hurricanes blow them down and people drown. I mean, how stupid are we? I mean, people build houses next to damn volcanoes, for Christ's sakes. Now, how stupid is that? I mean, so yeah, there is things they can do, uh, but whether people are going to do it or not, that's another thing.
Doubtful.
Whether I mean, I just it amazes me.
Well, what in that amazement, you don't think that we are capable of doing something about it?
I don't think people care enough about an emergent situation to interrupt their normal lifestyle of living,
And that's
unless
why,
unless it.
and that right there, Max, is why I do what I do. Because, for instance, a week ago, Max, do you know anything about ocean fertilization?
No, that's why I thanked you for sending me down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The more ears that know about it, then, and even in this case, I don't know how to solve it because I'm only one person. But I know that maybe if enough of us know about it, then maybe what we can do becomes a conversation.
Well, I think I
It may
think
not
what
be
has to.
tomorrow. It may not be for another 10 years. But the progression to get to that point needs to start somewhere.
I think the economics of things has to change. I mean, the economics has to change. That's I don't know how they would do that, but
Government.
I think that's what.
It'd have to be a
Yeah.
change in government. I mean, I can't even think of another way. What else would? But then at that point, it's does a government become what it is today, or do the people make it what it is?
Well, yeah,
Because
and
if
that's
that's
the argument between.
because if it's the case of government makes that happen, then there's nothing we can do. Because I mean, we
Well, yeah,
could
that's
change
that's
everything, but it'll
that
just end
just
up back to that way again anyway.
yeah, it just turns into the argument of freedom of democracy. So I mean,
And
yeah,
here's the worst part about it. We need it. We need a government. Period. If you don't have a government, then you're just talking anarchy. And I don't know what fuck. Like I've talked to people that think anarchy will work, and then you just make them realize right away that all anarchy is a way to restart a new government and start over again. That's all it is. And it'll just and that's what my question was: would it lead back to the same thing?
I don't know.
I
That's
think it
the great
will.
experiment, right?
I
The
honestly
great
think it will.
experiment.
I think no matter what you do, even if we kicked everybody out of government right now and started over, we may get 100 years, 200 years of a good government. But for how long? How long will it take for new people to get in there with a motive? And everybody has a motive. Even if your motive is we can find 100 of the best people, and every one of their motive is to people and to have a fair government. It only takes is one person with a different interest, one person with one motive half-assed different than someone else's to change it all. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a complex issue, isn't it?
It's beyond complex. I say it's almost a fucking paradox.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, government or no government, you're fucked. Real shit. Because you think about this: if you're in an anarchism system, basically what it is you're villages that look out for yourselves, police yourselves, govern yourself. Ooh, there's a bad word, govern. Because even in a village, there's gonna end up being a group that maybe knows more, has more skills, and they're going to become that quote unquote government of that quote unquote anarch system. Quote
Well,
unquote,
of course, and then there's going to be
government.
another group. There's going to be another group that wants that group stuff, and
Yeah.
and
or even or two groups that trade perfectly, and a third comes into it. Once that third comes into it, there's no way everyone's interests are going to be made sure taken care of, and that's where government becomes what we know today. And I've had this argument with people about an anarchism system. No matter what you do, in my opinion, government or no government, for one, it's going to turn back into a government. For two, I don't think there's a win-win. I think that is a true paradox.
well, that's where corporate America comes in, and not being a socialist country. I mean, if everything's governmentized, then people don't have the freedom to do business. They're all. I mean, there's regulations and stipulations now, but can you imagine if they increase that to full blown, laws and rules that you have to abide by for business purposes and practices? I mean, there would be no private institutions. There'd be no private gain. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, it's an endless argument. I mean, sure, there's great things in a socialist uh, forum or a socialist setting. There are good things about it, but how do you implement those things into a democracy that we have now without violating what we already have?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, it's one of those situations where it's not going to really have a win or lose situation, or a win-win situation. I mean, better yet, one digital was it digital or they and them brought that up? I think it was they and them who brought up the AI courts. It's almost like those type of things you got to start thinking about, Maxwell. You got to take, because remember, the motivation to do shit like corrupt people do is emotional.
Yeah, but it's not going to be. I mean, it might. That goes down to that dang. What the hell's that movie with Tom Cruise where he gets that little ball and it tells whether somebody's going to do a crime or not by their DNA structure?
Minority Report.
Yeah, I mean, I.
Yeah, but you got to remember you got to remember the Minority Report was also predicted by three beings that lived in water.
I mean, it's just
and guessed and had dreams about shit happening. I hope that doesn't, when Maxwell dreams something, it comes real. So let's go arrest some people. That'd be scary.
That's freaking crazy.
AI.
Tony
was asking what was wrong with ocean fertilization. He says it occurs for sure slowly as the algae blooms are growing. Adriatic has lots, or Antarctic. I think he's Antarctic. However, it's slow process, and I don't see the problem. The problem is because when you fertilize the ocean with iron, it speeds up the natural algae bloom process that I think you may be speaking of. But as in these ramping of it causes dead seas. It can cause dead seas. That's a big deal, and it can kill. It brings up the acidic levels. It brings up the pH levels, which I believe is also an issue they're having with the Great Barrier Reefs, which people they're bleaching themselves. They are not dying. Bleaching themselves is a protective manner that reefs do periodically, not periodically like every couple years, but it is a way for them to save themselves until they are in good conditions again. So, yeah, ocean fertilization bad. Not to mention, it just looks nasty. It looks like diarrhea.
Iron dust. Amazing.
Yeah, I've showed pictures of it. I had a picture up earlier. I just took it off though. What's up, Carlos? How you doing, sir?
No habla español.
Hola, buenas noches, amigos y amigas, caballeros.
I would love some nachos. Thank you.
What the heck kind of racist crap is that, P.J.?
I heard nachos.
Yeah, I did say buenas noches. No.
And that was a stoner comment. That was wasn't racist.
You're right, man.
Yeah,
The munchies.
Exactly. I got the munchies. Fucking forget racism. I want some nachos.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's my breaking news is that they've been performing geoengineering right under everybody's eyes with CO2 emissions.
They've been doing much more than that. That's just one small aspect of it, Maxwell. Don't worry, buddy. Every day, I'm going to give you a new link to look at. And in a month, you'll have 3 hours of sleep.
I don't believe it. I'm not a geoengineering believer. You need to send me some stuff, man.
Send you some stuff. I can show you this. I've showed you the Scope S stuff before. That's proof right there. They're talking about doing it, and they've talked about doing it before.
Give me a 10-second rundown on what's the end game for geoengineering.
To control the climate.
Okay, and for what end?
To avoid the coming ice to planet cooling.
Wrong. To avoid the planet heating, which will, and their solutions seem to have more risk, and that risk will be global cooling.
Oh, we don't want the globe to cool.
No, we don't. That's the other thing, people. Exactly. That's the other thing. They're talking about this 1.5 degrees Celsius rise. Well, just imagine what a 2 degrees Celsius drop would do. And that's just so people understand. We're talking snow in Southern California. Cooling is the worst that could happen. That is by far the last thing we want to happen.
Yeah, so that's what I think. That's why I believe that they've utilized CO2 emissions to propagate geoengineering to the point that it has. I mean, they've let it increase. I think they said that they being the conspiracy guy I am, they as in whoever is doing this or letting this go, they're letting the CO2 emissions increase to such a drastic amount that they want to know what actually happens. Is it gonna start to cool the planet, or is it gonna increase the temperature of the planet? They want to know, so they're gonna push the CO2 limit to the extremes until they get a damn answer. I mean, that's what science does.
I don't think it's to that extreme, but I do think they're definitely not decreasing their CO2 emissions by any means.
No, they're not whatsoever.
I think Jesus is gonna come back before that ever happens.
Well, is he gonna, so.
He's wait. So did you just say that Jesus is the climate change solution?
No. I said he's gonna be coming back before any of that stuff becomes a problem.
What are you doing in the dark, dude?
I don't want to know.
I'm still working. Work bro.
So
damn, you work too much.
When is he coming back?
I don't know. The second coming is near, but I don't know.
How do you know? Wait, you said you don't know. How do you know? Wait a minute.
I'm just trolling. He is coming back, but I don't know.
Stop saying that.
No, I'm serious. He is coming back.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
He's definitely come back. When? I don't know.
There is an argument that we've been saying for a long time that the second coming is near because we can tell because of the signs. But has been said since back in the 1800s. So yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
I think some of those people. I think some of those people have seen the Virgin Mary in toast as well.
Well, that's a different. Yeah, that's a whole. That's mostly the Mexican people, the Roman Catholics, the ones that pray to Mary. They're the ones that see those.
And he's not. Carlos isn't Mexican, people.
Well, it's not an ethnicity thing, but more of a religious thing. You know, most of the Mexican people who are Catholic.
Carlos is German. Huh?
No.
I was telling people your ethnicity.
German. Yeah. Well. Anyway. Thank you. You thought you just derailed my whole train of thought here. I don't even know what I was talking about.
You didn't when you started.
Well, I started trolling, and now I'm trying to be serious, and then you totally trolled me. And anyway,
well, that's not fair because I was trolling you.
That's so good. But yeah, what's his name? Tirag or Shrek? He's always saying that I don't ever talk about my faith or God, or I never call out the beast or this and that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird. I was telling you the other day. It was like, I know, like, I just, like, I've known you're religious. I've known that. You've told us, you work with the church, your church and everything. But then when I went over to the stream, I was, like, talking to, like, as if you were, like, a proclaimed atheist or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It just makes me mad. Like, I respect that he's going to have a different opinion or whatever. But he'll sit there and say, well, Carlos is a Satanist, and I was like, dude, come on! I'm like,
yeah,
for crying out loud, it really gets to me. I'm not afraid to admit it. Really just makes my blood boil because I had no way to give a rebuttal because he won't let me into his hangout.
Yeah,
and then he will block me or whatever. I was like, come on, man, don't be a coward.
Yeah,
and he's just mad because
you had a mod in there that kept timing you out.
Right, he's just mad because nobody wants to listen to his idea about the drone. And he,
all four people, two of which I believe are his parents, listen to his live stream.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
His parents seek and find in that one mod. They're the only ones that watch his live stream.
But his thing is like, well, maybe God doesn't want us to know what the shape of the earth is. And then he said, well, God is behind the whole deception. And then he'll say stuff like, well, drones will definitely settle this argument. Even though he's being told by me, JG Gonzalez, multiple people who not only have knowledge on what's it called, partition points? No, what are they called? Doing a lot of topography and whatnot. Even though he's being told by people who are, professionals in the field and people who know about drones like me. I'm not a professional, but I actually have put a few together, so I kind of understand how they work. And just because he knows math and he can say big words like granularity and interpolation and extrapolate, he thinks he's onto something. I don't know. Enough of the mind of God. Let's talk about Flip Flop and his beautiful haircut.
Hello, Flip Flop.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes. My neighbor using my phone, so let me set this up. And I'm eating chips.
Ask him what color is the earth. Maybe he'll say round. I showed that to my brother, man. He died laughing. He said, "What the heck?"
That's good. Yeah.
Anyway,
I just showed that to my sister yesterday. Yeah, it was funny. She was cracking up.
You need to get that clip and just make that into your intro, Jose. I would love to go back to all the hangouts and get all the sound bites from Rumpus, Slick James, Pichet, and just to make a nice little intro with where their little icon pictures animated. Oh, it would be hilarious, and he just had me in the background go, Aristarchus!
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you could use iTunes.
I'm not
You
gonna
could
lie.
make
Right
a-
now, what I'm doing is I'm actually in the process of making multiple soundboards. There's something I didn't realize when I started doing it. It's not easy. You would think getting a
Oh, no.
soundbite from somebody is easy, but like background sounds and just little
Exactly.
like
You have to
saying
find one
it
that is clean.
wrong. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
not easy.
You
You have
could
to
make an
first
auto
find
tune
it.
song.
Yeah,
Auto
that too.
tune.
Yeah.
Make one of Rumpus auto tune. Utter complete moron.
Yeah, I was actually after I finished my show, I was setting up a new server, Discord server. So I created one. I'm still not comfortable to invite everybody. I invited 2 people from the Game Panda to test it, and I was able to tweak and change a few roles, and I think I got it down. I'm pretty comfortable, but maybe later tonight or tomorrow, I'll test it with some people and see if we can mess it up before I share with everybody.
Mess it up.
Yeah, those discards. Yeah,
Yeah, mess it up. What if somebody
Running-
join and start spamming porn, or be able to mute people or
Yeah.
remove people or change
Yeah,
shit around?
'cause
Oh, the bot.
the-
So,
Get
well,
the
the
bot.
So what-
best. Well, the best thing to do is going live from Discord is the best thing to do. It'll keep us from having to use these stupid ass paid for link hangouts. The thing is that, and I'm sorry, I'm not a computer person. It's not easy to run, like to set up a server. And I'm gonna tell you how hard it is, Jose. The Truth Frontline, I didn't set that up. I have 3 guys who know Discord that run that website or that server. I don't do it at all. And when I do like one change on there, and they yell at me. Oh yeah, they get pissed.
Yeah,
when
no,
I do
but
something.
I got it. Yeah, I got it for everyone that just joined. They're able to text in the chat, but they're not able to post links and tag at everyone. So they'll only be able to text in the chat,
Yeah.
and they can join the voice call, but cannot speak. And then I got the second.
I'm going.
That's for the newbies, for everyone.
Yeah.
Then I got the second layer. It's for the keyboard warriors. They're able to post links, tag at everyone. And then I got the third tier is the speakers. The speakers are able to post everything and to speak in the chat, but nobody have a specific roles. Just me. I'm the only one able to mute or remove or change names around. So
Yeah,
I think I got it all right. Very simple. 2 text and 2 voice channels. Simple.
Yeah. That's.
I'm going off grid,
that's how-
guys.
Oh Lord.
You'll need me. Just call my flip phone and you're good to go.
Jesus. That's
Is that
the
a chef
bunker.
stat?
The bunker, Jose. That's how the bunker set up. It is as simple as it is. If there's nothing special, I don't even have a bot. I think I have one bot that brings people in, but other than that, it's very simple. Otherwise, I have to call people in.
Yeah, I had to do that for the newbies, for everyone to join, not able to post pictures or links. I got it verified, for if people start coming in, I ask them try to post pictures or links. If they can't, then I'm good. I'm happy with it,
Yeah.
And then I'll assign individuals to be able to speak in the chat or whatever,
So does that Discord server?
I'm gonna be.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, boss.
Well, I was
You
just
good.
wondering if that Discord server runs off of the cloud or some others, or if you have to run it off your own.
It's open source. You can get an app or you can run it on a browser.
So yeah, but does the information get stored somewhere? I mean, or do you have to have a computer continually connected?
You can have the option of it being stored or not in the options, but no, it's not linked. You don't have to.
So it's not like running your own server from your home. It's
Discord
cloud-based.
Discord runs the server for you.
Oh, okay.
It's 100% better. Yeah, it would be this. It would.
You don't have to add any information,
Yeah.
like emails or nothing. You just create a username and password just for that. You don't need anything else.
Well,
you can log in from any
set it-
device,
you can-
computer, or phone.
You can set it up like that, but the safer thing is to
You-
make
but-
it so you have
yeah,
to, because
not
then
necessary, yeah.
so you're not worrying about you call them what do you call it when 30, 40 people come into your server and start spamming. What do you call it? Fuck, it's
Spammers,
no, it's called something on
Denial
Discord.
of service.
denial of service,
No.
No,
DDoS.
on in Discord, it's I think they do
It's
it
got
on
a
Twitch
special name.
too, where they kind of just like 30, 40 people come in and just spam the shit out of your whole server and get it all backed up.
So is this a server you're setting up, Jose? I
Yeah,
missed
it's
that
a
bit.
DDoS. Denial,
So
denial
you
of service attack.
So what's
Yeah,
happening?
something like
Jose setting up a Discord server. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said
So
he
is-
set
Yeah,
one up
I
for
just set
stream.
up a new Discord server.
As YouTube,
Yeah,
so
still playing with the options, and for people to hang out there where your own time. You know, I'm not gonna be there all the time. I'm gonna be very busy. I'm gonna be there every once in a while, just checking if there's 2 or 3 people in there. I'll jump in to hang around.
so
and
either
chat, you
Jose
know.
or
And this
Sean
more
G,
to give you guys the floor. You know.
either Jose or Sean G, like YouTube. So you guys have been uploading these videos forever. Is there a data limit on how many gigabytes you can upload
Not on
before
YouTube.
you have to pay for it?
I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
It's all government money, baby.
So
I would say
brings
this
me.
though, Jose, if you aren't already doing it, you need to get an external storage and start saving your upload, like the streams you
Yep.
like, your good ones, because at any time YouTube can take everything and you'll have nothing. You know what I mean? Though not that they're gonna put you down, but if something happens, you lose everything.
Well,
Right.
everything's being.
Oh yeah, definitely,
You
yeah.
won't lose anything because everything's being stored at the NSA center in New Mexico.
No,
so
they're not
don't worry
gonna they're
about
not gonna
Well,
give you anything.
Save it to 720p at least, and back
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, I have for me, I have a terabyte drive. I mean, this thing, I've been trying to fill it up, and I have nothing but my uploads and recordings on it only. And I'm like,
And pictures of me.
and I have like 2% used so far, and I have at least 1,000 files on it. But a terabyte's
Damn.
a little big. That's a little much for a lot of people, but you'll never have to worry again. But I save everything. I don't trust. I've seen it happen with flat earthers that I knew whose channels got taken down, and everything they had is gone just because YouTube doesn't have a backup for you.
Well, and then it gives you another reason to ask for money, right? I'm sorry. That was a low hanging fruit right there. I apologize. But
Asshole.
yeah, whatever you do, don't get Seagate hard drives though. Some of those are defective and they will go out.
Yeah, that'd be heartbreaking.
I agree with that. The ones
Yep.
that failed with me were Seagates. Definitely, I agree with you, Carlos. My server.
Hey, look
two
at that! I got
servers.
Hey,
2 instances of me.
Look at me. I know what I'm talking about for once. Hallelujah.
I got 2 instances of me in here.
Oh, you have
Something's
one
going
too?
on, man.
What are you swapping
The
computers?
The aliens are coming to get me, dude.
Oh.
Or you're swapping devices.
No, I just got booted, so I rejoined. Oh, see, I just left.
Oh, whatever.
Oh,
If you look at the logo for Seagate, it looks like an eye. And what does that remind you of?
It reminds me of the
Illuminati.
Illuminati.
an eye.
It's like Nvidia. Yeah, like the logo for Nvidia. It's the all-seeing eye. Nvidia, which is graphics card manufacturer.
They're the people who
Yeah.
debunked the moon landing. Do you remember they did that recreation of the
Yeah.
3D? Yeah, you see.
Yeah. Today I sat through about 20 minutes of video from Russian vids. Holy moly, that guy can find Illuminati on a bowl of oatmeal. It's like, oh, you see this shape right here? It's like a triangle, and you know, blah 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 blah. Illuminati.
So we were talking earlier to that whatever I've got questions Spanish guy. So I look at his video, and on his video about the truths that are in movies, he's showing all these bits from Fight Club, right? And he's just picking random things out, putting through Russian vids' cryptology machine, right? And it's making the number 33, right? But the ridiculous thing is he's picking these different words, right? There's no mind or reason to it. Yeah, he was a real crank, that guy, real crank.
Yep. I don't know, man. I don't do that whole number thing. It's just so.
Have you,
I mean,
Carlos? Carlos, have you seen KJ with the Scariest Movie Ever YouTube channel? He does the same thing. Goes into all
Wow.
this stuff.
Just want to see how long I can sit through. It's this dude who says that he gets pictures of all these Hollywood, and they say that if it's a woman, it's a man, and if it's I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? It's like, oh, this looks like a woman because it's a woman, even though he says it's a guy. You can tell by the cheekbone, and he just, I don't know. It's just crazy that people like that exist.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I
Hey there.
just a little while ago I told Jason that he wasn't the only concaver in existence. And now that I come to find out, the guy is worse than Russian vids.
Did you you heard him? Did you, Sean? I didn't know if you were on or not. I'm just trying to find out.
I was there, but I've never seen him before. I've never heard him before.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on his site, but his experiment was very odd. He really needs to come back on that.
That's one thing I've always heard, that the concave model works, but I've never actually met anyone that went into it or explained it with detail. There's a guy, Jason, that's in my chat that I've known for a while who's a concaver, but he's just weird. You guys saw his desk, so one day he sends me a picture of like his desk where he like does his computer stuff and blah blah blah, and it was one of those pictures, and it's just, I look at it, I'm going, something's not right. Like, like someone, like their setup just, it's like, this spews like red flags. His did. That's what his did. Not in a bad way. It's just, it was so oddly clean and so oddly set up. It just weirded me out. So like now I'm convinced Jason's crazy and he's the only concaver. So now that I know there's two of them and this one's like Russian. Yeah, see. Sorry, Jason.
No, after show, me, Carlos, and Maxwell, we were in after my show went offline and we stayed chatting, and he jumped in, like, he said, "Hey, Jose, I know another concaver. He speaks English. He's American. His name is something. I forgot the name." And I said, like, dude, I asked him, you speak Spanish? He go like, "Sí." I said, all right. So I start speaking Spanish with him. It was easier for him to, he's Spanish from Spain. Maxwell was just sitting on mute over there. So me, Carlos, and him, we talk in Spanish. And he said, like, yeah, this buddy of mine, he knows English perfectly, and he's very articulated, explaining the model, on the concave. And I told him, just give him my information, tell him to send me a message, and we'll do a special show with him. I got the guy that was on today, and then we will I'll give you the floor for an hour or two if you need it, to present your whole thing, and then we'll open the panel. And he said it's cool. He's gonna give me my information. So I don't know who this other guy is, but I'm looking forward for that shit, because that'd be some new shit,
Concave model cannot work.
I think I know where they got the concave model
Walmart.
and why it's so intriguing. Have you ever seen that optical illusion that you get when you take a concave mirror and you place an object in the center of it, and then on the top you have a concave
mirror? Okay, so never mind.
So you have a concave mirror on the bottom, you have an object in the middle, and then on the top in the very center it's open, but you have a concave bowl on top that forms a sphere inside. And you get the 3D projection of what's inside on top of the dish on the outside.
Two parabolic mirrors.
There's a sweet or a marble that's hovering there in the air, and you try and grab the sweet, and your hand goes for it. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So I think that's where they come up with this concave deal.
Hey guys, you notice how Sean said, "What the heck? A concave mirror?" And then about 2 seconds later, he said, "Okay, I got you." See, that's the difference in between normal people and flat earthers. That it takes us about 2-3 seconds to make sense of something. They get stuck a lifetime on like how can you have a smaller shadow than an object, and they're stuck with it for all their life.
100%
That's the difference right there.
No, I agree. That's exactly what it is. Because
that is the difference.
It's the idea, but see, you also have to be able to imagine that in your head, because that's what I had to do. I had to go, oh wait, not a concave, but yeah.
And that's the thing, not being able to understand certain things that just you can't move past that point. And for you, it just took 3 seconds. For them, it could be a lifetime.
Well, it's also
or 2.5 years.
or it's or there. You also need to be able to set aside incredulity.
There you go. That too. Some home, some
John G,
said.
I went.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I said.
I was going to change subject. Go ahead, man.
Jaron was talking about how the flat earthers are the most humble people, and and it's in the contrary, the more most hard-headed people. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so I went out this morning with the P900 with the Jaron to take some footage, and I presented in my show earlier. I went with the intention of record flat earth, of take evidence of flat earth, some power plants and smokestacks like 55 miles away. I was unable to catch that, and I was unable to catch anything. But I did something. I killed the ether band with my footage. There was no refraction, no mirroring, no atmospheric effects whatsoever, bro. It was beautiful,
right?
man.
No, stop.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, no, you stop
Sean.
too. You stop too. No.
Sean, I'd just like to add one thing.
No. Stop. Motherfucker.
Swearing, go ahead.
I just want to add one thing.
Jose, you did not kill the ether band. I did. Just because you buried up his body, you necrophiliac, does not mean shit.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd just like to add one thing.
That's going to rephrase it. Go ahead. Phil.
Stop.
John G, yeah, let me rephrase that. So I went to get flattered. I didn't get that, but I was able to catch the last nail in the coffin on the ether band because you killed it, and I put the last nail in the coffin. There you go.
There you go. What's up, Shills? My bad. I had to get it out.
No, dude, it was such a
there's just
day, bro. There was no mirroring, no refraction, nothing. It was really good.
Well, there's just one observation. Just one observation I'd like to make. Stop.
It works. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Just did. Bam!
Thank you.
Who started that shit?
That was me. People used to get in my taxi and they'd say, well, can I ask you a question? I'd say, you just did. They'd say, well, can I ask you another question? I'd say, you just did. And the smart ones at that point would stop and say, can I ask you a fourth question?
Yeah, you just can I ask you a few questions? Yeah, I guess, right?
Hey, that would work.
And into the chat.
Hey,
I'm gonna email Dr. Bob and see if he can a conversation about CBD and THC and all that stuff. If he's busy or because I know he was gonna do one on his channel, so I'm not sure if he wants to do it over there or what. Either way, I just want information too. But yeah, that's actually a big topic in on Earth right now. With different states, in my opinion, for just to add to it, I think Shills, you were talking about the other day where you're in the Minnesota area. I think I think in time, between the next 2 to 5 years, every state's gonna be. Well, I don't know about recreational, but the limit, I would almost say recreational, because what's happening is exactly what everyone thought would happen when Colorado did it. States are now keen to the money that's brought in from it. Then what hopefully will then happen is the federal government will go, we're not getting any of that. Because again, states don't pay the federal government anything that has anything to do with recreational or medical marijuana. So hopefully at that point, the federal government will want their fingers to dip in it because it's money, and then somehow some revolutionary federal law will change.
Dude, I just had an epiphany. I just had an
Well,
epiphany. We can combine CBD oil and climate change and sell it and make a freaking fortune.
It won't work. It'll get suppressed. Because what do you think?
Anyway.
What do you think the argument was for using hemp back in the day? Save trees.
You're living in La La Land.
Guess who wasn't about saving trees? Paper mills. For those who don't know, yes, paper. Actually, the guy who invented the paper mill or whatever the fuck, he spent millions of dollars in the early 20s to make sure hemp didn't get anywhere, which is why it's illegal to grow hemp, but we're allowed to buy hemp from Canada.
Paper mills really don't care where they get their cellulose from for the most part.
Well, the guy who ran paper mills, he's already invested in making newspaper with trees and all that good stuff, and he didn't have his finger in a hemp what do you call it, press or whatever they do to make sheets. Because otherwise, hemp would be by far the best thing to be using over everything almost.
Yeah. I've seen some article back in the day about that.
Every study they do, Carlos. Every study.
Exactly. I've seen this study done on hemp and trees and the yield production.
If you grew one tree, if you had one tree, Carlos, and you milled it down to make as much paper as you could from that one tree, and then put a seed in the ground to regrow that one tree you need to make more paper, hemp is by far better. I'm talking in the
you don't need to fertilize hemp or anything. You don't have to spray it. It self controls.
Yeah, it's one stalk of hemp annual growth yields, I think it's like 20 times more than any one tree with any size kid. It's literally hemp grows so fast, and it rejuvenates all the time. It's not like a seasonal thing either.
I think avocado trees are better.
I don't want to make any racist comments right now.
Do it.
I no longer have the munchies, so I can't contribute to that.
Come on, I want to hear it though. I love that stuff.
Yeah, we'll just wait. Wait, you want to race? No, I'm not racist. Well, I am, but not really. I'm not publicly.
Oh my God. No problem.
I'm not racist. I just hate the French.
That's not racist at all. That's just real. They run.
But when Tony said that guy that was talking to us was Spanish, he was that's correct. He is Spanish, but Jose and I are not Spanish. We're Hispanic.
You're either Mexican or Spanish.
No.
No. Do you ever speak an English sentence mixed with Spanish?
Yeah.
That's Mexican.
I guess I'm a friggin' Mexican too.
That's what it is. Spanglish. I'm sorry. When I grew up, I live in San Diego. Trust me, I know this. This is a fact. There's Spanish, which most the kids that when I grew up, their parents spoke. Most of your parents that speak it, or you know what I'm talking about, they all speak Spanish. I'm guessing, because I keep forgetting, Carlos is a baby. You speak Mexican a lot.
Okay.
When you're talking to your parents, it's Spanish. When you're talking to your friends, it's Mexican.
I guess by your standards, I'm Mexican too.
No, I didn't say you are Mexican. I said speak, man. I told you I'm not racist. I'm not publicly racist. I would never indulge.
Shills, you're Siberian.
No, not according to Sean.
You're midget addicted. That's your race.
I am.
That's Shill's race. His belief: peeing on spark plugs.
Spark plug.
That's just a hobby.
I told y'all. You guys thought he was joking. I told you. I was not the. It would never be a first time for him anymore. Maybe Brand.
No, there's pretty much no first times left for me for anything.
That's very scary, actually.
You ain't dead yet.
Oh,
Big
that-
Blue.
Hey,
The game.
About 20 years ago, I took the 500 question innocence test. I scored a 31% on it.
Yo, Big Blue. Is the game still on?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait,
More, you still
it's Saturday. Fucking college.
Tomorrow's Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Traditionally,
usually follows Saturday.
traditionally it comes right after Saturday.
Yeah,
With a brief pause in between, but yeah.
very brief.
Mm-hmm. Milliseconds.
Dare we say a
depending
delta?
on where you are in relation to the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was Friday
Like
for
that.
some reason.
Relativity.
I thought it
fucking
was Friday
reference.
all day.
Boom.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
I thought it was Friday all day. Thanks to Sean.
Sorry, you gotta sleep sometime, Maxwell.
I think we need to invent a new day just to kind of even things out.
Call it fuck between Sunday and
Well,
Monday.
I think like I don't know, Catil's Day or something. I don't know.
Where would you get that day, though, Shills? Where are you pulling that out of?
We could wedge it in between Monday and Tuesday. I mean, that'd be all right. Or Sunday and Monday. That way, you know, your week starts on Catil's Day rather than Monday, so people quit bitching about Mondays.
I don't want to hear people say Catil's all the time, though, either.
You know, it's just
Okay.
a thought.
Let's call it like a call the day between Sunday and Monday tank, so no one wants to have to say it.
So is it dumping snow up there right now, Shells?
Yeah, God's just shitting it out.
We got 27 inches last night.
Is that a lot?
No, I'm just fucking with you. It's we got
Oh,
we got like five or 6 inches yesterday or day before.
I gotta remember. So I live in San Diego. Our mountains get 6 inches of snow, and like all of San Diego herds to the mountains.
Yeah,
So-
snowboarding and skiing.
Hell yeah! And then we go to the fucking.
Yeah.
I could literally. I've done this before. I've gone snowboarding, and within an hour, surfing at the beach. I've done it a million times. I used to do it all the time.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I suppose you can snowboard in your t-shirt too.
Absolutely. They make snow in,
Yeah, that's-
in Big Bear. It's fucking the greatest thing on earth. I've gone to Big Bear. That's our local mountain. It's at about 10,000 feet, a little bit more. Gone up there with an inch, maybe patches on the ground. Overnight, they start the machines, and by the time I woke up and went out to the slopes, there was a foot of snow on the mountain. It was great. Greatest thing on earth. I love Southern California. That's why I'm not going anywhere. Granted,
Yeah.
the same area that gets snow at the bottom of that mountain last summer, I felt my first 113 ever. That was insane. That's why when Digital was in the chat talking about 115, 16, I was like, oh, hell no.
Wow, 2 guys got ejected from Georgia and Georgia Tech for fighting today.
That's a new rule, huh? They just start doing that shit. I was watching the clips of cheap shots and shit in football, and I just realized like I had never seen it before. All of a sudden now every fucking game someone's getting ejected for hitting the face mask. Fucking pussies. I'm crying. Granted, my son plays football. I'm like, don't touch him. I almost beat a little kid up for hitting my son in the face the other day. It was crazy.
You're supposed to tackle nicely.
Yeah.
No, these guys were throwing fists at each other.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, but
The
yeah,
sec-
Blue's right though. Now, Oh my God! You have to like ask the guy to tackle him first.
Yeah, you have to fill out some paperwork before you tag him. Here, will you sign this real quick?
Yeah, you need to sign this tackle release.
It's positively British anymore.
That's what happens. They fucking gayed soccer or gayed football and fucking in Britain fucking brought it here. That's why they call it soccer. And yes, those are me. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I like Ritz crackers.
Shit changed a lot in 50 years. I know that.
Tell me about it.
100 years. Just saying. No,
See, when me and Blue were playing.
What I realize is that everyone's now starting to take these really cheap shots at Blue about his age. And I just like to say, it's time to stop. Why? Because I was the first to do it, and you guys are blowing it out of style. Leave it alone.
No,
it's fine.
I was just gonna say back when me and Blue were playing the game, we didn't even have a ball. We had to use mammoth testicle.
And that's because of your old age.
No, that's just because we were badass enough to knock one of those mammoths down and take his testicle.
You guys are older than my grandpa's buckskin rubber.
Wait a minute, time out. Hang on. Whoa. I don't know about you, Blue, but I if I were you, I'd be like, no, I didn't play that game. Why are you using mammoth balls? Like, there's so much other parts of an animal or things on Earth that mammoth balls is really what you need.
I'd think that they'd be about the right size.
Hard to hold on to, though.
I've never taken a set of calipers to an elephant's balls, so I can't say for sure.
I'm just like, of all the things on Earth, this planet Earth, you pick mammoth balls. Of all, I mean, there's so many other things that could.
Okay, well, a T-Rex has got a cloaca, so that really kind of knocks that one out.
I don't know what that is. Wait, that's the thing that birds have. Got it.
Wow.
Birds don't have balls and dicks that hang out and shit.
God, they don't. Inside. Can you imagine?
It's all built up inside of them.
Well, except for the Hawaiian bird.
I don't know what that is, and I'm not going to look.
It's.
I'm scared to search anything you say.
No, it's a very very primitive bird that lives in the Hawaiian Islands, and it got its name. Well, first off, it nests in a very rocky ground, like lava rocks and stuff, and it got its name from its very distinctive cry that it gives whenever it's coming in to land at its nest. The Hawaiian bird, weirdly enough, has 2-inch legs and 4-inch testicles.
So how does that work?
Well, when it comes in for a landing, it's going, ah, ah, ah!
I fell for it.
I knew something was happening. I was like, this sounds fishy. Right. And that's why I don't Google shit.
Probably for the best.
My bad. Had to finish chewing.
There's no reason. There's really no reason for anybody else to Google. I mean, Anthony Riley Googles every goddamn thing anyway. So
yeah, just watch his videos and laugh.
Just watch him. Eventually, he's going to Google whatever it is you want to know.
So, Blue, the other day, you were like, I remember you were like, they got nothing left. All the result to now is just talking shit. And I saw a couple, and I was like, yeah, they do. And then, over the past week, I think Riley posts at least twice a day something shit talking about you. And I went, damn, they're a little obsessed right now.
Riley is.
I was thinking, is it like a holiday tradition to say "fuck science"? Just attack. I was like, damn, I didn't realize it until you said something. All of a sudden, it's like everywhere. Every time I get off YouTube, it's like a new post from Riley. I was trying to figure out. I was like, damn, that's weird.
His latest was a doozy. Now he's figured out that gas doesn't. According to him, gas doesn't have weight, doesn't have mass. There is no mass. Gas cannot have mass. Well,
what?
And here's the reason, because there are no intermolecular bonds between the gas molecules.
Sulfur hexafluoride.
So
Wait, just
a moment. He claims there's no intermolecular bonds. I think I'm sure he's not thinking about CO2 and stuff like that. He's just making this shit up. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious because I guess the conclusion you have to come to is molecules have no mass, therefore no weight. The only thing that has weight are those damn bonds.
It's the Elmer's glue.
I mean, something's got weight. Got mass.
It's the little tiny handcuffs that you got to put on them to keep them together.
It's Elmer gluons. That's what it is. The new particle.
There you go. Hey. I'd like to get down and figure out the most fundamental argument that flat Earth has to make in order for flat Earth to even have a chance.
Localize what you see in your observations locally. That's the only that is by far the only argument that you cannot refute. Period. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm talking the chain of denial. They have to deny space. They have to deny space because that denies satellites.
Nope, you don't.
That denies satellites.
No. Chills. I as a flat earther, space had never been fake to me. I knew it was there. All it did was lead me down a path of different types of propulsions that they could use in space. That was it. Space was always real to me. Satellites were always real to me.
Okay, fair enough.
I said, there is no argument, not even an argument on your side or the globe side that can't be argued. But there is one argument in this whole conversation that I don't care what anyone says. If you were in the middle of a desert, which is barely flat, and you look around, your local view, everything you see around you, it looks flat. Period. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what side you're on. You cannot refute that fact. Period. Problem is, they don't realize that is so minuscule of an area compared to the actual surface of Earth that means jack all to the shape. But the realization is that observation is 100% true. You see it. You can't. There's no difference. I don't care what anyone says. It looks flat without any instruments or tools looking around in that vicinity. Period. No one can refute that.
It would be like looking at two strands of hair and trying to figure out which one's thicker than the other one.
Yeah, with no tools.
No tools, exactly.
Exactly, 100%. It's a credible observation. Problem is then the worst case for that is then you are talking scale. Okay, let's talk scale. Realize that's nothing. That is 100% realization of that observation and in that argument. That is the only argument that can be made by flat Earth that does not have a refute. There's nothing you can argue against what I just said that you would say was not true. That is true. Everyone has that observation. There's no one on Earth that can see the curve like that. In that vicinity. It doesn't work that way. That was my argument. And I think Digital and them were joking about it last night. That it sounds stupid, but again, earlier Carlos said something about someone said something about a concave mirror, and the first thing in my brain was what the fuck, because in my brain instantly I thought a concave globe. So I'm thinking this ball, but instantly later I realized you don't need it. I know what a concave fucking mirror is. That doesn't have. You have to have a vision. You have to see that in your head. I don't care what it is. It has nothing to do with true or not. if you're thinking of a fucking unicorn, the second I say unicorn, everyone that's listening right now is thinking of what a unicorn looks like in your brain. And it happens instantly. But regardless, if you've never seen what we call a unicorn, it may take you time to remember you've seen one or to visualize what the hell that could look like. And it could be completely different from what we all know as a unicorn, which means that one person's explanation of that unicorn is going to be completely different, and we're going to argue at him as if he knows what our unicorn looks like. You see what I'm saying? It's not always about what we know certain things, and once you have a confidence in your brain that you know something, the other side does become unimaginable on that end. You guys can't imagine what a flat Earth would be like, so therefore for you, it's impossible to ever think that way. See what I'm saying? See how the both sides, it's just, there's the idea that someone doesn't know isn't so ridiculous. It's once you start giving the information, the repeat game that we all keep playing with people, that's where you start making your criticisms of whether or not someone is realistic or not. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the fuck you believe. If you're interested in knowing something, no, and I haven't researched it, should never be in your argument. Because you shouldn't have an argument at that point. If you're not retaining what the effects of gravity are so you can find, kiss my ass. I'm sorry. And you know what? I've repeated it 1,000 times because I know there are people that don't know it. But if that's the case, everyone, you guys can go back. I'll start labeling it seek and find, or someone asks the same question over and over again, so you can go to there and listen to the question. But the repeat game is ridiculous, and I think we all need to stop fucking doing it. That's the problem. The problem is when you repeat yourself to the same person. Problem is, and Maxwell, I'm going to throw you into this because wait, Aaron's here. I'm going to use Aaron. I like Maxwell today. Aaron is a perfect example of the problem, because Aaron is not a fucking flat earther. Aaron is a glober. But he likes playing the argument. Well, the problem with playing that argument is the people that don't know and think it's flat, they're not getting anything out of it. Because we're arguing the same thing over and over again. We're not progressing the conversation. So it kind of just throws everything back on it. Now, to some people on both sides, it may be a game. And it may be fun to play this game. The problem is I didn't think it was too fun. This has never been a joke to me. So when people mock flat earthers, you are mocking me, because I understand why I was a flat earther. I understand why people are flat earthers, the real ones. And that's why the respect thing kind of stands. I force it here is because regardless, I don't, and like I said, I don't know the ratio of real flat earthers to these people playing games, but I know there are people out there that are interested, that don't want to be known for. They don't want to be, they don't want to be in chat. They don't want to be on a panel. So the information is good. They don't want to hear the same answers over and over again. I didn't want to hear the same answers over and over again. So that trolling that happens, it's literally just wasting everyone's time. And because it's a joke to you, it pisses me off, because it's not a joke to me, because you're mocking me. Whether I am now or I was, it doesn't matter. You are mocking me because I had the same beliefs as any other flat earther that just doesn't understand shit. So if mocking that is fun to you, again, I'll play the "You're Not Welcome Here" game. And I'm not saying that to you, Aaron. I was just using you as an example because you do play that game. But overall, that is my opinion of the reason why it aggravates me when people are disrespectful or play the flat earth apology game. Like those things, it's not funny to me. I take it personal. People, guess what? I was a flat earther and I thought I had great reason for it. But I'm not now because I understand it. It's not because I came to my senses. It's not because I realized how stupid flat. No, I understand that we live on a globe now. And that did not come from people playing games. or thinking this was a fun place to disrespect people. That didn't help me. That didn't get me anywhere. Matter of fact, that may be why I was a flat earther for so long. But the realization is that people don't see shit the same way everyone else does. It just doesn't happen that way. And as far-fetched as everyone thinks it is, it's not you. So then how do you come to the conclusion that they're stupid or they're playing like that's the problem I have. Now, people are stupid. Last night, I came very close to giving Shills the okay to talk to Maxwell however the fuck he wanted to. But I have to even catch myself because things do aggravate me. And regardless of that aggravation, it doesn't need to be disrespectful. I can handle everything without disrespect and get to the same conclusion with it, but that's just my rant. I felt I had to say it. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't even remember what got Chills in such an uproar. I can't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember
Shut
either.
up, Sean. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking a lot.
It was probably me.
No, it was Maxwell that
No,
night.
it was definitely me.
Because I remember now. We were in the middle of that argument, me and you, Maxwell, and at a certain point, you got a little trolly, like as if you gave up the argument, so you just went to straight fucking death door, and Chills had just came in, and he couldn't figure out whether or not you were trolling or you were being serious, and that's what triggered him.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if
remember.
that would do it or not.
No, it was.
Sanjay, did you know I
kept asking him, Chills.
I got a
Oh,
YouTube
well.
channel, an admirer. I got an admirer of mine, another YouTube channel.
You what?
I got an secret admirer. How do you say? Yeah, somebody admires me.
Admirer.
And they admirer. Yeah, they talk about me in their channel, and they say my channel is about drama and shit like that.
Dude,
It's fun.
you have
I like
your
it.
own troll?
Yeah. No, but it's like a big channel,
welcome.
big following. Like he got hundreds of people watching live, and I got a secret admirer. I love it. I'm not gonna mention his name because I'm not gonna give him airtime. But yeah, it's lovely. Love it.
Awesome. Well, that means when we YouTube search your name, we're gonna start seeing fun stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, for those that don't have access to the side chat here, I figured out, hopefully, the percentage of Earth's surface that could be seen if you were standing on a smooth surface and looking out at approximately 6 feet in height.
Oh, tell me. I want to know.
0.000014266711105734444% of Earth's surface.
Can you tell me that number in miles now? Not by percentage of amount, but by
It would have to
mileage.
be. It'd have to be square miles. But yeah, I could do it.
Not square miles, but one line of sight ahead of me.
Spherical.
Approximately 3 miles in radius.
I got 2.7.
That's why I said approximately.
That's Google telling me that too. So.
Hey, Sean, about your rant.
So that's 20,000ths of a percent there. You got Chills, right?
Something like that.
Sean, about your rant. People. I think people that are interested in either side very much appreciate your show, Jose's shows like this. Those that are actually interested, because it gets down to the nitty gritty, I think. So I have learned more about atmospheric pressure in the past week than any physics class could teach me in a quarter.
It looks like about 0.02%.
And so that's just what guys
That's
like
cool,
me
Aaron, yeah.
join these panels for, and watching both sides. And at the same time, it is fun. Have fun with it. Have fun with physics. Have fun with this new knowledge. Have fun with the guys going out in Big Blue doing the experiments. Many others.
I gotta add to that, Aaron. We gotta thank people like on Page Shields right here, Big Blue, Bob the science guy, and many others that have have dedicated many years of their lives in looking into this shit and educating us and giving us knowledge for free, bro. We couldn't ask for better, man. For real.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so
Barney, big shout out to Barney and a lot. You know, I don't want to mention everybody, but just the 2 person here on Face Shields and Big Blue, they really give us information, like very valuable information that we shouldn't take for granted. We should absorb and listen because these people have dedicated many years of what they do for and to help us, man. This is good shit, man. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I do believe guys like I'll just pick out a couple of the ones I like. Big Blue and Barney. They know the information and then putting it into an experiment. I think they enjoy that. Now, they might not like the argument from other people afterwards, or maybe they do, but actually doing it and proving it, their knowledge to themselves, and then presenting it to us, it's like a win-win, I think. So,
Aaron, if you were describing, if I said, go ahead and describe to everyone what a mini excavator is. Go ahead.
It's basically a hydraulic hand.
Continue. No, be more detailed.
Well, how detailed do you want to go? Nitty gritty?
I never heard of it. What is
Someone
an excavator? Because I can describe
yeah.
a cell phone to you. Can you describe a mini excavator? Yeah.
Exactly.
That I don't know how to
Yeah.
visualize it. I don't know what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say in a
Well,
nutshell.
it is a metal. It's made out of steel. It's a steel shovel, basically, that pulls towards its center. It doesn't push. It doesn't scrape to the side. It pulls towards itself. And it uses normally a diesel engine to run a hydraulic pump. That,
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It
hydraulic
doesn't have an
valve,
arm. It has
hydraulic
it has a big blade on it.
it's got a boom, a stick, and a bucket.
No, it has a big blade on it. No bucket.
That's a bulldozer, actually.
No, it's a mini excavator.
Many excavators do come with blades, and they can
This
push.
one,
but
they all have
very
big
efficient.
ones and they push.
They're not very efficient. They're mostly used for stabilization.
No, yeah, they have big blades and they push and they're very stable. Even the mini ones.
Yeah, they can push, but just not
No,
very
they do
efficient.
push
Not
very efficiently, and they don't have any buckets on them.
It depends on how large scale.
No,
scale of
very
the job.
the small ones. P35.
Yeah.
P35s. They have big blades, no buckets, and they push. It's a mini X. What they do.
Why? Why are you talking about a dozer?
Yeah, I think you
No,
guys
no.
are talking about
No,
two
no.
different pieces of equipment.
No. I'm talking same machine. The one he's talking about, Mini X, has a large blade, doesn't have a bucket, doesn't dig, pushes only. It's very efficient.
Yeah, those are real nice mini X's. I'm gonna have to get me a hold of one of those.
Yeah, now, Aaron, you see how ridiculous that conversation got?
No.
You don't realize how far-fetched what I was saying is compared to what a real Mini X is? You don't get that?
Well, I could take it as you pulling my card
Trolling?
and trolling me.
Yeah. That's exactly
or I could
So
take
wait,
it as,
Aaron. So if you're sitting there trying to explain to Jose what a Mini X is, because he has no clue and he can't even visualize it, he's never seen one, and I come along and I just derail the fuck out of your explanation of something you know. That's exactly what you do. On
I
a
got
daily
confused.
basis.
I got confused like a motherfucker.
That's exactly, and that's what Aaron does to somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what Aaron does to somebody when someone like Blue here is explaining something to everyone, comes in and just derails it with
That's
information.
not true.
It is true. Comes in with
You-
information that bullshit. I can
Beautiful
pull
exercise.
links up on a regular
You went
basis.
to a whole different. No, Sean, you went way
Yeah,
over.
welcome to what fucking flat Earth is.
What is it, right?
Yeah, it's me. It's you explaining a Mini X and then me coming along and explaining something completely far-fetched. That's flat Earth. And you,
Well-
who knows what, and you...
No,
who
and
knows
asking
what a-
questions
and
about
look,
like what
look,
is hydraulics?
and look,
What is
and
a
you-
blade? What kind of
and
blade?
I can send you.
Aaron, you who understands and knows what a Mini X is, has to then defend someone who clearly has no clue what the fuck they're talking about.
Do you know how I
Your
defend that?
point. You
I'm gonna
can't.
load it up and take it to Jose's house and show him. That's the
No.
best way.
Yeah. And we in blue,
That's the best way.
Soundly, Dr. Bob, you fucking name it. There are like they're saying, Barney. There are countless people who take the information to your face and show it to you, and you still go, nuh-uh.
Yeah, but it's not tangible. I'm gonna let Jose touch it, run it, move it. You know.
I'd let Jose touch it too.
Oh, you know, but you know what I got out of this exercise. This was beautiful. This was a beautiful exercise, Chunji. Now the thing is, right, when Aaron was explaining to me, yeah, he said it's a metal box, and then it's a hydraulic arm, and you could stop it like, hey, what do you mean by hydraulic? So it will derail the conversation talking about hydraulics. So when you say, all right, so we move on, he got a blade, he got an arm and a blade, you say like, what kind of arm, you know, like muscles, what kind of blade, the cooking, the chef, and it will derail the whole conversation. It will take us places that it was unnecessary. I understand,
but
Aaron,
the
what
thing is, the
Sean means. I
problem
hope
is
you do understand too, yeah.
Okay, I didn't mention the blade.
I knew what he was
I didn't
talking
mention the
about.
blade.
I knew what he was talking about, but the thing is that because I know what he's talking about, there are certain, like, I didn't know how to, like, derail it. So I had to go as
you
like,
did well.
as far
You
as I
did well,
fucking could. So like Maxwell was saying and Aaron said, what I was describing is a completely different machine. Completely different. For the complete
Hey, I
different
just
things.
want
But
to
the idea is
point
that,
something
that
out.
if you derail it, it takes it away from what you were doing. Jose, who was trying to understand it, no longer even is on the same page to understand. And that's what you do on a regular basis, Aaron. You're here, you derail,
I'm not even
and
interested
people
in
who are
knowing
trying to
anymore.
listen,
Fuck it.
yeah, no one even cares after that point. Some
So,
people think trolling's funny, most don't.
quick fun fact: the Crimson Tide came to a rolling halt today. Woohoo!
That ain't what my girlfriend told me.
God damn it.
Yeah, that they lost.
That's a lie. You don't have a girlfriend.
I do. Yeah, what you gonna say now, smartass?
I think he's talking to you, Sean.
No, Chills, no, I don't want to touch it. Thank you.
My bad,
comes
Chills. I
together,
was
man.
actually away from the microphone. I have a lot to say if you really want to get into it. I just wasn't at the mic to answer to you. I was like, I give him that moment, but then I'm back.
Oh yeah.
I was like, all the moments not to be at the microphone.
I timed it that way.
Wait a minute. I mean,
Don't ask.
Okay. It's kind of scary. Kind of worried right now.
All right, guys. I wanna test this server because I'm anxious. Can I post it right here in the chat? Somebody want to go and try to switch it around, tweak it, fuck it up or something. This is because it's brand new, so I don't want to have a bunch of members and then somebody come in and screw it up. So if somebody know about Discord a little bit, yeah.
I'm not going to do it because if I open it right now, we'll see the link. And I'm
gonna post the link. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'll post it for an hour, on this.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you meant in this chat or the other chat.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna post it here on YouTube too.
Oh, okay.
And see if it works. You know. I want to jump in. You should be able to text. Probably not post any links, but give it a try. Right here, the link. Right, the link. It's called the Daily Boom.
Oh. Is anyone doing that or in here, or should I?
Whoever want to try from the chat or yourself too.
Should have called it the Big Boom instead of the Daily Boom.
Shield's got a watch page open.
I'm washing clothes. I'll mute out.
I'm on here.
Proper trolling, Sean, would be if I say I've got a mini excavator.
Yeah, I see you there,
to
Blue Marble.
show a picture, and then I say, well, I got a variable
Oh,
displacement
that's a seal.
pump, right? And then Big Blue is a hydrolysis, so he knows about pumps, and he goes, no, that won't work, right? That would be a proper troll. And then I have to explain how a variable displacement pumps, and he's going to go into saying all this stuff. That'd be a real good troll.
I'm sure glad though that Sean cleared up what he was doing, because I was sitting here thinking, what in the hell has gone wrong with that boy? He is describing an excavator that could not possibly excavate shit. What the hell is he talking about?
I didn't, honestly, I didn't want Aaron to know. So I didn't say anything. I had to come off cuff. I thought everyone kind of caught on. I mean,
You had me
my
going.
whole life.
Yeah, you were doing good, Sean. You had me going too. I was like, what? Where do you live? What kind of excavator you guys got out there?
La La Land. That's where he lives. La La Land.
That kind of hurts, man. I mean, I've been doing construction my whole
Perfect,
life. You
guys.
would think. Yeah. No worries.
So I got Sean G, Maxwell, and Blue Marble. Thank you. I assign you speakers. So speakers, you should be able to jump in the chat and talk whenever you feel like you feel bored.
Yeah, I just went in there right now. Yeah, I guess it. Cool.
It's inside the chat. You gotta click and join. Join whenever you want.
I don't think
I just joined. I don't see the chat.
So I'm gonna be the only one with the mod able to give people roles to speak or whatever. But little by little, I'll check as the days goes by.
Maxwell.
Check.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, never mind. I was trying to see because I thought if I was able to change anything. Nope. Good.
Check.
Yeah, I can. Wait, I can't hear you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I have Discord.
Seems to be working.
Yep, I hear everyone on that end too. This is the setup how you have the perfect setup. This is how you should be live streaming. This is exactly what I was talking about with the live streaming. Hang on.
Yeah. It seems to be cool. I like it.
Because I mean, this is the basic setup right here for live streaming.
I agree.
I would just do the broadcasting over to my OBS, and then everyone would hear us that way.
Yeah, and I got the little trick. I got the little trick so we can see the little icons of the people talking, so I can present videos or whatever, and I got the little icon hovering on the people speaking.
From the overlay one.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's a good site too.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Okay. I'm leaving.
I'm gonna disconnect from the Discord. Just it's in here available. So if you guys wanna talk, you're welcome.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a chance. In the beginning, I just created it and I invited two guys from Discord, Taylor and Pure Anarchy, and they helped me a little bit on set it up for the mods and all that shit. So yeah, I guess that.
Pure's my boy. I like that dude. He's as ruthless as it gets.
Did you ever get anything out of Travis on the observations? Because your videos were certainly excellently clear, Jose, proving that you can make pictures without ether bands.
Right, I know. You want me to share a video, Shunji, of a clear,
Yeah, go ahead.
Clear day?
Oh yeah.
All right, let me present now. Yeah, because it was really clear today. I wasn't expecting that. All right, I'm presenting my full screen. I'll pull my folder. PC, and the SD card is loaded. Just gonna pull a random one from today's. All right.
That first one there, I think, was pretty good.
Just a little. Yeah, let me pull this one and see.
Yeah, that one seemed like, I seem to remember that was a real good one.
Yeah, and on a full screen. And look at that, yeah.
Look at that.
And we got a little lab. So, yeah, you see the little heat wave, but there's no mirroring or refraction whatsoever, bro. So crystal clear. And using my full optical zoom. Later on in the footage, look at the dolphins, man. Look at the dolphin where he jumped right here in a minute. Oops. Tripod is shitty, but
You jumped.
yeah. No. Watch the dolphin. What? Yeah, watch the dolphin right here, somewhere in here. Oh, look at that. And then he jumps again over here.
That's today?
It's nice to sit in there and just watch. Yeah, that was today, early today.
Badass.
Over here in Florida.
That's a bay right there?
I was about.
You're in a bay?
This is like little sand dunes.
Oh,
I was
sandbar.
in a public beach. Yeah. And it was all kinds of little small boats in the distance and a bunch of stuff, you know.
What's the humidity like today?
It was dry, bro. I mean, I didn't check anything. I know. I checked earlier. I heard that water and air temperature was pretty much the same, and no humidity whatsoever.
I was gonna say that. Then what we just did there is we deduced the data to figure out why there's no refraction. Because I would think in Florida, because remember I was saying, you get some exceptional images of refraction happening, and that's because of the humidity and the temperature of the air there. And today, if it seemed almost neutral, then you're gonna have no refraction. And wait, what temperature is the water out there right now?
I think it was when I went this morning. It was noon. It was chill this morning, pretty cool. But then it was like 78 to 80 degrees.
God,
air and water. It was pretty similar.
That is insane.
These ones are like 2 miles. This is like 2 to 3 miles away. There's a bunch of little patches of sand, like little sand dunes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's along all the coast. So people take little boats and they go hang out to fish and hang out in there. And it looks really clear, you know, really cool right there.
Yeah, there's a little sandbar out there.
Yep.
No dolphin tastes like chicken.
Asshole.
right.
There's a fish called a dolphin, and it's excellent.
Yep, it's like it looks like one of those weird fish with yellow and stuff.
Yeah, it does. That's $high fish too. There's a dolphin.
Right here, yeah. Oh.
A porpoise.
Yeah, I'm fighting with my tripod there, man.
How are you fighting with a tripod? Isn't that supposed to stabilize?
Dude, my tripod. No. Wait, yeah, my tripod is got a press and release mechanism. So I press the thing, and it got like a little ball bearing thing. So I pressed it, and it just go wobbly all over the place. So I got it, move it around, and release it to lock, you know. And then when I lock it, the camera is heavier, so it kind of tilts down a little bit. So I gotta be fighting. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I need a real tripod.
Yeah, let's just put it this way: Warner Brothers does not own a single one of those.
Huh? Tripod?
Yeah, right.
Not one of those tripods. Huh? They got lots of tripods, but they don't have any of those.
Yeah. I don't even know why I wanted to buy that one. I thought it was really cool and bullshit, man. You screwed up.
That's the problem. Until you take it out and try to use it, you don't really know.
Yeah. For the fine tune now, man.
Just super glue the swivel. So it only turns, not goes up and down.
Yeah, and in the next video is where I get to some buildings. Let me pull it up really quick. That was the first one. Second one. It's where I get to observe the Clearwater Beach, and there's a bunch of buildings that they're fluctuate from 10 miles to 15 miles away. A bunch of them, but then it's across the like little patches of land.
Okay, so I gotta point something out here. I keep seeing in these videos that you do, or that you're showing. You see that area where the glistening of the water stops, and there appears to be that fogginess.
Yeah, let me start.
It's like a direct line. What the hell is that? Is that
That's where the light that reflects off the water isn't shining into your eyes. It's glistening somewhere else.
It was noon. It was noon exactly. I start recording like at 11:45 a.m. and I finished recording like at 12:30 p.m. So it was like right at noon when I took all this footage.
So if
So
you
like
if you
every
gained
video,
altitude,
every
if you gained altitude,
every time you
or
see that,
that's just where like, so you know how the water's kind of rippling a little.
yeah,
Well,
no, I was just wondering
out
if
there-
it'd be nice to get like a distance. I wish I lived out by the
Oh,
ocean
okay, I see
because
what
I'd
you're
like to
saying.
get a distance on that to see if it's the same every time you zoom in.
I bet
You
you
know what I
could.
mean?
I bet if you had the, like, if you know it's noon, you would. That means you know the direction on which the light's traveling, and if you know where you are, then you'd be able to, I guess, measure the angles, right? I'm not. That's kind of how it would work,
Yeah,
right?
sure, yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yes.
I was just brain farting.
You remember that footage that I got with the mirroring and the birds flying in and out, like really, like it looked like a glass water, and we got all these reflections and inferior mirage. This is it, but this is from further distance, like
Oh,
maybe
okay, yeah,
5
those
to
are the
7
two
miles
buildings.
further away.
Okay.
Yeah, this
I
is the
see.
two buildings,
So
the crane. But this is
How
not
far
the
away
palm
are those?
trees. This is not the palm trees that we got. We got this, and we got a bridge further away than this. A few miles further away is where that line of palm trees are,
So
and then it's
how far
the
away is
buildings.
that? Like from where you're standing to to the building?
That building
It
was,
might be 15 miles away.
I think that building was about 11.8. I think that's what you
Yeah,
figured out,
about 11.8. One of these. Yeah.
because I stuck it in the curve calculator and figured there was about 40
Yeah,
feet of the building missing.
Yeah. I still gotta, find it
Well,
and play with the Google Earth really good line of sight to see exactly
there's a
which
bunch,
buildings are.
yeah, there's a bunch of little buildings all around that thing that you obviously can't see because they're hidden by the curve.
Yeah. Further away,
And
this is a
curve.
shit lot of buildings all over this coast. Like all behind this, there's a bunch of little buildings. I mean, by little buildings, I mean up to 10-story buildings.
Hey, so those boats are coming in. So I'm assuming to the left. How far down that channel? Wow. How far down that channel can you see? It's almost like you're there.
If I'm here observing that way, you see, from here over this channel, over this street, this is just a few, by maybe 3 or 4 miles away from this land to this, because this is where I took the footage to see the mirroring on the buildings the past time.
Because I was thinking
This
if
is
you can get
further
far enough, because like every time you're getting these images, wherever you're at, it seems like there's a lot of boats coming in. Is there a place where you can get far enough away that you do start to see curvature, so you can see a boat there, actually appearing from the obstruction. You know what I mean? You don't see that very often.
I understand.
We see a lot of boats
you know what
going
the issue?
out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think you would observe the boat floating in the air and then all of a sudden appearing on the.
It's only if there's lumen.
The issue is there's a lot of these type of boats and fishing boats and little, sports boats. There's no big container ships or big cruise ships
really
and stuff. So because I caught a bunch in another video, and they look tiny in the distance, even using my maximum digital zoom, because they're just small boats.
Okay,
so you couldn't determine well what was going on.
It's not a good observation for that. Okay.
They weren't big boats enough. Yeah. But it was really good, bro. There was no refraction. I mean, no inferior mirage whatsoever in this one. That's what I was able to catch. This one. It was kind of hazy in the distance. Looked like foggy, but hey.
Just normal haze.
I was kidding.
It's just normal haze.
Yeah, this is a big building, and I want to find that building on the Google Earth. It's coming in a minute, probably this one short.
Yeah, that big mother. That's that cluster. I think that's a little closer to you.
Yeah, those were a lot. And here I go fast because this is a lot closer. It come along the coast and then it wrap up wherever I am. This one's just.
Got to be able to find that
massive.
water tower without any trouble.
Yeah, but still, pretty far away. With the camera and doing this. Yeah. I'll show you some of the little boats. Let me see this one. What I got? Probably this one.
Is that about as calm
check
as the
it out.
water gets? Is what it's right there? Or do you ever see like glass water out there?
Yeah, I have, and I got it. But the day I went, it was like glass, like you couldn't see a horizon. You could see just kind of a continuing. It became water to sky. You don't see a line whatsoever, and then you see inferior mirage and reflections from the birds, all mess around.
What's that way out there?
Yeah, I'm trying to straight up my tripod to see so I can zoom in. There you go. You see there, Sean? Yeah, they're really tiny boats, and yeah, really hard to determine what's going on.
Well, it's going over the curve. That's what's going on.
But it's sitting right in the horizon. That's the thing, right? I mean, it's a solid horizon line.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any water past it, like higher.
No. Well, that's because there isn't any. There's another little boat. I don't think we're seeing all of those boats.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think they're just barely past the horizon.
Yep.
Oh,
That's cool.
what the hell is that thing?
Something
I
floating.
know, man. I missed it. And it was bright, bro. Like so bright, the sun hit me in my face. And hard to see through the little viewfinder,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but there were some days that I go and I record this, and you can see the inferior mirage going on in these little pieces of land right here. And this one, so far as I could see, I didn't see any mirage going. That's for today. Let's go forward a little bit, see what we got. There you go. Yeah, shaky. The further away you get fucking shaky. It was a little windy. That one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the boats they're just not big enough to be able to tell what the hell you're looking
Yeah,
at.
to tell the details, yeah.
Which is exactly the bullshit flat earthers like to take pictures of. Never definitive.
Yeah, tiny boats. Yeah. And yeah, I just point and record whatever I can get, in the little bit of chances that I got to go out.
Man, it would be super to have a day like this in an area where you can actually see large ships.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. Solid tripod and a clear day like this. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you get a Gulf area where big cruise ships and stuff come in, that'll be freaking ace.
Yep.
Actually, look at. I mean, I don't know, but that one look a little odd. Let me see this. Fuck, I cannot pass it in time. This one right here in the back looked like a bigger boat. Let me see. It's just a small boat, probably. It's like sitting right there. It's like a couple little stacks coming up. It's like we're missing the bottom of it. by just seeing whatever we can see in the split moment.
I can't really tell what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, they're just too small.
It's a lot of damn boats.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a beautiful day. You know, the sun was out, but it wasn't that hot. As I say, it was probably 80 degrees tops, which for Florida, that's awesome. You know, on a beach day like this.
Yeah, when you get into that digital zoom, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks because this is the maximal optical right here. You know,
Right. It's still
once
pretty
I
clear
crack
there.
on a little more,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, like, what's the resolution at maximum zoom? Is it
This is maximum zoom, maximum optical zoom. This is 1080p,
so? It
and
only
this is 83
at
times zoom.
so at 1080p it can zoom in to maximum zoom. Now look at that. That's weird. You see that pontoon boat? That shit looked like it was floating in the air.
Let me see which one do you see?
That pontoon boat. The
This
party
one?
barge thing. No, the one that was going
Oh,
by. It
yeah,
looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
the front end. That one. Look at that shit.
Yeah. You got like the two legs, and you got a hole in the middle.
It's obviously CGI.
It must have some
Right.
weighted in the
Then
back or something.
And then we got this that I have to find this because I looked for it once that I took this footage and I didn't find it in the map anywhere. And I think it has like a little pier going by because I saw one guy like walking pretty much in water over here one time and back and forth a while ago. But there was nobody in this one. Maybe this is somebody standing, but they didn't walk to the side that time. This right here, yeah, it's a little pier up to here. Yeah, I just said I go over there when I start zooming in and recording. I lose myself in there, and then this little lighthouse is second because I got this lighthouse from 8.5 miles away, but then I got it right here from 2 miles away from me. So this is the control image when they say me like, how do you determine? How can you use the Google image? No, this is the control image of the full lighthouse. I got it in another little clip, probably in the next one. And I can use this as a reference. Like this is my visual to the lighthouse, This one was a little higher above the water, above the rocks or whatever.
So how many miles
There's
does
one
that
in the
zoom got
background
on
right
it
here.
now? You know, wear that zoom
This
out.
is all the way in. This is right here. Poop. This is 83 times the zoom. This is from the P900. And then right here, I got it. This is the full optical, digital zoom. So I got it past the 83 times zoom. This is 2000 millimeters, equals a 2000 millimeter telescope. And then I zoom out to the maximum optical zoom without using the digital, which is right here. Boom. I don't know. I think it was pretty cool. I want to go here again, in a different time where the sun is maybe setting to see if I got better illumination of the buildings or the boats and see if I can catch a little better. Probably very early in the morning when the sun is rising. Let's finish this one. Now I gotta share one more. This was pretty cool. This was 2 days ago when I went, and this one was pretty good. I saw this guy grabbing the net, and then this guy went in the boat throwing the net, and he parked the little boat again, and now they start pulling. This was fucking awesome. Check it out. All right.
Look at all the birds come.
See what they got. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna let it watch it, man. It's fucking awesome, man. They're in the zone. They're in the forte, man. Let's see what we got right here. I went to record the Tampa downtown, but it was super foggy 2 days ago. But then now I got this. Oh yeah. That's what we're talking about, man.
Huh. So what's the limit they
Those
can
are
catch?
mullets. 100 of them. Now this is a snook. These ones are illegal. It has to be certain size. I don't know if they throw it back or what. No, you have to have a special license to keep these ones at a certain size. But these ones you can
do they
catch
do?
up to 100 in one day.
Do they sell them or do they?
I guess they sell them sometimes for eat, but when they get a shitload, I guess for sale. Yeah. They are decent, man. They're good fish, and they are vegetarian, so you don't catch them with a fishing rod. You know, they don't bite. You got to catch them with a net. This one. It's pretty cool. It's cool. Yeah, I had a 12-foot cast net. I used to go a year ago. I used to go all the time and go fishing, catching this all the time. And then I had a little 5-foot bait net with the tiny holes, and just throw it, catch a bunch of little finger mullets. Of these ones, the small ones, they bleed a lot. So I cut them in half, all bloody, and to catch bigger fish, sharks and shit like that. I haven't gone fishing in pretty much a year now. I miss it.
It looks like too much
What
work.
you gonna do with that snook? Yeah, it's fun, man. They go like, I got a snook in here. What you want me to do? Don't kick it, bro. Good shit, man. I'll stop sharing. Thank you for letting me present.
Looks like fun. How far away from Sean Smith are you?
I've been
Jose?
trying to find your little hut, but I can't find it, Jose.
My little what?
No, the little hut thing out there.
Oh,
I've
on
been
Google
looking for
Earth?
it. I can't find it. Yeah.
Daily Boom. In Discord, you say?
No, I've got Google up on Earth up on my
Oh,
monitor.
okay.
I was just looking
Oh,
to see
okay.
if I could find that little thing we were looking at.
Okay. Let me present one more
I
time,
can't
and I'll
find
show
it. It
you.
doesn't look to me like it's more than 2 or 3 miles away.
Okay. Let me show you on Google Earth where I was standing, so you can pull it up. All right. We got Florida right here to the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah,
This one is pretty easy to find. All right. So you go over here. You're gonna see this little tip, and
I got your car
this
parked,
one sticking out. This one sticking out right here, the longer one.
Yeah.
So
that's where I am. Down here on the bottom side of it.
Yeah. So I was here. This is the little lighthouse is right here. This is where the Anclote Key lighthouse is, for example. And then we got shit. All right, so I was here observing, and I go along. I know this is for to the buildings on downtown right here. I mean, along these buildings, and then we got some other big buildings right here with the clear water.
How come you're doing more work than any Nathan Thompson or Nathan Oakley has done? Look at all
Shit.
this
I know, man. I'm
observations
telling you.
and lines.
Yeah. And I got the lighthouse from here, from the pier one. It was some inferior mirage, but I still went. This is the actual Clearwater Beach, the big famous pier right here. So I was right here above in this one, and I took a straight line of sight of the lighthouse on here, and I got it. I was able to see it, but I don't know how much to the bottom because it was elongated. You know, you can see the top of it, kind of distinguishable, but then the bottom you cannot see it well because of that band of freaking mirroring that was there. And this one is from the pier is what is the properties? That was 13 miles from that spot, from the Clearwater Beach to the lighthouse. But then I have seen the lighthouse also from here, which is 8.5 miles away. This is a different spot. And this one is 8.56 miles away. And this one I got it really clear, and I got it down to the bushes, you know, to the bush. I can see the tree line. I don't see the sand dunes, but I can see the trees underneath. You know, I can see like some trees, and then the little lighthouse picking up from that 8.5 miles. Now I get a difference when I go standing 6 foot above in this observer. I'm standing in just by the rocks right here. 6 foot standing up, and then I put my camera down to the rocks like a foot and a half away from the water, and there's a difference of land more of the tree line missing big time when I do just that little tweak.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Really interesting. Yep, just a few foot difference, you know. Discard. I wish I had a closer area that I can go more often, you know, different times. But yeah, no, unable to do that, you know, right now.
Why? How far away is that?
Is that a long way from?
I don't have a car. Number one, bicycle. I haven't tried bicycle. It's like an hour and a half bike ride probably to go to the closer spot, you know, to take footage. Now driving, I can go maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And when I go out with my sister or whatever, I go like persuade her, like, please stop, you know, like half an hour, give me half an hour, just stop right here. All right, I'll take you there because I gotta do some phone calls or whatever. So she dropped me over there for a little bit, just take some pictures and footage quick and get out of there, you know.
Pretty crazy.
Good footage. And you're always welcome to share here.
Thanks, man.
Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I'm gonna start wrapping up. You gonna go live again, Jose? We're live at a weird time.
Nah, yeah. No, I know, yeah. Nah, not today.
Yeah, I think I may go live. I got things to do. I'm gonna take my son somewhere. So, anybody want to? I'll go ahead and wrap it up. See, I know people in and out. Big Blue, you got anything coming up?
Maybe I'll slap Anthony around for a little bit more. I don't know. I'm thinking about a few different things, so I'm not ready to put anything out yet.
All right. Jose.
Thank you very much for the stream. It was fun. And I'm going to start adding my Discord link to the description box on my videos, and I'm going to start spamming it around to see if we can get a bunch of people to just give them the spot so they can hang out and talk, you know, whatever they want.
Awesome. Maxwell.
Yes. Good show. Good pictures, Jose. And yeah, I don't think I surprised you much, Sean. I think you were already thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we're definitely, we're definitely on the same page. And there was definitely a different Maxwell here today discussing the subject. It was good. It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it. Unpaid.
Cool.
You're up.
I'm gonna try not to go into this rabbit hole any further.
Or you will. Unpaid. You're up.
Yep, just hanging out, being awesome, cooking a little chicken and rice for dinner. That's about it.
Cool. Awesome. Like I said, I may go online live a little bit later on and do another BS and late night BS one.
Wait a minute. One other thing. One other thing. For Jose, it would be pollo y arroz.
Well, say that again. I was in the zone over here, right?
Arroz y pollo.
Oh, arroz y pollo, yay.
Enough of that German.
I guess, okay, Sean, I guess that makes me an honorary Mexican.
Yep.
Damn.
Yes, it does.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey,
I'll talk
Shills.
to you guys a little bit later on.
All right.
Guys, that was fun. Like I said, I enjoy these type of streams, and we're going to continue doing it. If you don't like it, too bad. With that said, guys, I do it. It was definitely a good stream in the sense of that we got to discuss the ocean fertilization. That I definitely want to get out there the information. I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of more bits of information to get out about it. So we're going to be doing a lot more of it. I'm definitely happy that Maxwell started looking into things. It kind of makes it a little bit better to have these conversations and it make more sense to the people that may not understand it very much. As to what I was saying earlier with Aaron, again, I am under the full understanding that flat Earth is not real, but the understanding of the globe is also not real. And I think majority of the people that are in this community, both sides, have a very limited understanding of it. And again, like I said, when you start deterring from it on purpose, it really does take away from people that are interested in the conversation. There are times for fun and trolling and all that stuff. I get it, but at the same time, it can't be an everyday thing. It can't be something that people will take you serious by, because it becomes very obvious, especially here. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I enjoyed the stream. It was fun. Appreciate everyone that was here and stuck around. Tomorrow, I think I may take a break. I may not stream tomorrow, not 100%. But if I do, then I think I want to start getting into more of these observations and the claims that are made behind observations that are false. The ones that we've discussed. I have clips that I want to show, showing that this is a very frequent thing that happens, where just blanket observations, our globe observations, ended with denial. It's kind of frustrating and aggravating. I'm going to get ready for that if I don't stream tomorrow, Monday for sure. But look out for me tomorrow, same time. Thank you guys. Peace.